Chapter 473. Lin Ray, who understood the situation, did not stay any longer. He immediately said, "Let's go. Since you're so anxious, you might have encountered some trouble." Okay. After saying that, the two of them exchanged glances. Then, they turned into streams of light and disappeared into the sky. At this moment, the man's family had arrived at the entrance of Sentian. They had been trying to contact Lin Ray for the past few days, but they could not get in touch with him. "What should we do? I thought we could just heal his injuries. I didn't expect father to be poisoned." On the second day after the man arrived at Sentian, Dongwon, who had been in a deep sleep, did not wake up. Furthermore, his aura was getting weaker and weaker. As time passed, Dongwon's aura had weakened to the point that the man was afraid. During the past 5 days, the man had tried to use his cultivation to help his father stabilize the poison. However, he did not expect the poison to be able to absorb the spiritual energy of the immortal qi. As the immortal qi increased, the poison was nourished to an uncontrollable level by the man. During these past few days, as an emperor-level alchemist, he had become all his hope. "Man, how is it? Have you contacted that person?" Just as the man was getting anxious, a weak voice that made the man's heart ache sounded in his ears. No. Perhaps Brother Lei has something important to do. However, I believe him. As long as Brother Lei sees my message, he will definitely rush over. I believe in him. Fisk, if he wanted to come, he would have come long ago. How could he not be here now? The male emperor, who was already anxious, was furious when he heard his brother speak of Lin Ray in such a way. He could not help but release a murderous aura. Shut up. An angry roar with a majestic, murderous aura instantly caused the entire space to freeze. The surrounding temperature also began to drop due to the man's murderous aura. At the same time, the surrounding flowers and trees began to wither the moment they sensed the murderous aura. Hiss! Everyone was shocked when they saw this. This was because they had never seen such a thing before. It could be said that they had never expected such a thing to happen. That was not all. When Dong Tiansheng sensed the killing intent from his big brother, he was shocked. Then, his imposing manner disappeared. Let me tell you, Brother Lei is not someone you can talk about. If you weren't my brother, you would be a dead man by now. Although the young man quickly said this, he actually thought so in his heart. He had always been very touched by Lin Ray. If it weren't for him, he probably wouldn't have such achievements in his life. Maybe he wouldn't have been able to live for a few years. Then, he wouldn't have been able to become the immortal emperor of the immortal world. I won't do it again. Dong Tiansheng's weak voice sounded, which reduced the anger in the young man's heart. However, he was greatly disappointed by his younger brother's actions just now. "All right, as long as you don't do that in the future, it'll be fine. This is only because it's me. If it were any other disciple of Brother Lei, I'm afraid you would have died long ago. You probably wouldn't even have the chance to reincarnate." However, what the young man didn't know was that when he was reprimanding his younger brother, Lin Ray had already arrived at a place 10 meters away. This kid, what are you talking about? Am I that kind of person?" Listening to the young man's words, Lin Ray wanted to cry and laugh at the same time. He didn't understand why the young man had such an evaluation of him in his heart. "Well, what you said is very pertinent. If it were me, if he said such things, I'm afraid he would have died long ago." At this time, Lin Tian, who was following beside him, spoke. His tone was full of killing intent. It was obvious that he really wanted to kill. "All right, why bother? He's just a kid. There's no need to be so serious." After saying that, he smiled at Lin Tian and walked towards the young man. However, Lin Tian didn't do the same. His killing intent was still leaking out from his body as he followed behind Lin Ray. However, his gaze was fixed on Dong Tiansheng, who was beside the young man, and he looked like he wanted to kill him. The young man was still immersed in the atmosphere when he sensed someone approaching. He turned around and saw Lin Ray and Lin Tian appear. "Brother Lei, you're here." When the young man saw Lin Ray again, he stood aside respectfully and nodded at Lin Ray. After nodding at Lin Ray, he asked, "By the way, young man, Why are you looking for me in such a hurry? The young man was about to speak, but after hearing Xiao Sheng's question, he immediately said excitedly, Brother Lei, please save my father. He's been poisoned, and this poison In an instant, the young man told him everything about his father's condition. He didn't dare to leave out anything, because this concerned his father's life. Oh, so that's what happened. After hearing the young man's words, Lin Rei frowned and nodded. Then, he came to Dong Wen's side, squatted down, and entered Dong Wen's body with immortal qi to check. Time passed little by little. Lin Rei's check was finally coming to an end. At this moment, Lin Rei's brows were relaxed, and he looked relaxed. Done. Finally, after removing his hand from Dong Wen's body, he stood up and came to the young man's side. He said, I know about Uncle's poison. Actually, it's not poison at all. What, it's not poison? Hearing Lin Rei's words, the young man was stunned. He didn't know what Lin Rei meant. It's not poison. It's a type of parasite. Moreover, this parasite is very domineering. It's called the spirit-devouring parasite. Looking at the young man's frown, Lin Rei didn't buy any more information and directly told him the exact situation. The spirit-devouring parasite is a type of parasite that feeds on spiritual qi. However, its unique characteristic is that after the host's spiritual qi is completely devoured, it will devour everything related to spiritual qi, including the spiritual roots. So your father's condition. At this point, Linley didn't say anything else because there was no need to say anything else. Saying anything else would just be a waste of time. Brother Lei, then my father's parasite poison is still. It's fine. The parasite poison is gone. However, your father is still very weak and needs to rest for a while. Other than that, there's nothing else. But fortunately, your father's spiritual roots weren't devoured by the parasite. So, if he cultivates again, he can still achieve something. With that, Lin Rei left with Lin Tian. What he wanted to do the most now was to capture the person who cultivated the soul mantra. As for the young man, he believed that with the young man around, nothing would be a problem. At this moment, when the male emperor heard that his father was fine, he was very excited. He originally wanted to leave with Lin Rei, but seeing that Lin Rei didn't have that intention, he gave up. He turned around and went to his father's side to take care of him. As for Lin Rei, there was no need to ask. After separating from the male emperor, Lin Rei brought Lin Tian and flew towards the depths of the forest sky. Along the way, Lin Rei released all of his 5 senses. He didn't want to let go of the person who cultivated the soul mantra because of his negligence. Kid, don't waste your time. Your 5 senses can deal with ordinary people. But if you want to use them to find that person, tsk. Suddenly, after hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei came to a halt and flew into the air. At this moment, his consciousness had already entered the system. Why, the 5 senses are... When Lin Rei was about to ask the little dragon beat him to it. The soul mantra isn't as simple as you think. Apart from not having a soul, the most important thing is that it isn't afraid of any detection from the 5 senses. F***ck, is it that awesome? Hearing Xiaolong's words, Linley was speechless for a moment. They thought that they were already the best at cheating. They didn't expect that such a person would appear, and this person was even someone they couldn't do anything about. But there's a way that you can find. After hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei focused all of his attention on him. That is based on your feelings. After hearing this method, Lin Rei didn't want to say anything else. Based on feelings? Is this bullsh***? Seeing that the little dragon didn't have any good ideas, Lin Rei didn't hesitate to exit the system and return to his physical body. Sai, what are you going to do? After stopping talking about the person who cultivated the soul mantra, Lin Rei was like a deflated balloon and couldn't muster up any energy. Why, young master? Actually, there's a way to catch that person. Lin Tian, who had always been by Lin Rei's side, naturally knew about Lin Rei's current state. As for Lin Rei, the reason why he brought Lin Tian along was that he was Lin Tian's only family in this world. However, he didn't expect Lin Tian to have a solution at this moment. In an instant, Lin Ray turned around and grabbed Lin Tian's arms. What solution, little Tian? Tell me quickly. Hmm? It's like this. That person's cultivation method is to devour souls. The purer the soul, the more that person desires it. So we can. Lin Ray, who didn't have much hope, was filled with confidence after hearing Lin Tian's explanation. Besides, he believed that as long as this method worked, it would be a piece of cake to catch the person who wasn't allowed to cultivate the soul mantra. Okay. Let's do that. Lin Ray said and reminded Lin Tian, little Tian, go to the side later. I will lure that person out. During the entire process, you must not appear, okay? Before Lin Tian could say anything else, he was pushed out of the danger zone by a terrifying yet gentle force. Lin Tian felt helpless and powerless at the same time. He thought of rushing forward, but gave up in the end because he knew that his cultivation wasn't enough. Even if he rushed forward, the result would be the same. At this moment, Lin Ray, who was standing in place, followed Lin Tian's method and released his pure soul energy, spreading it to a radius of 1,000 meters. Boom, boom. Although it was soul energy, it was different for the soul of an immortal venerable. Immortal venerable was the best realm for cultivating one's soul. Therefore, the soul energy had reached a level that could make the entire immortal world tremble. The moment the soul energy was released, the male emperor, who was resting with his eyes closed, widened his eyes in shock. Well, what's going on? Could it be that Brother Lei's soul energy is in trouble? The young man regarded Lin Ray's life as more important than his. Therefore, after this incident, he seemed to have forgotten that Lin Ray was an immortal venerable. Little brother, you can stay here and show your age. I'll be back soon. After saying that, the young man disappeared from the spot. He couldn't refuse Dong Tianqing, who was still in a daze. On the other side of Sun Tian, a young man with a tyrannical aura appeared. His eyes were filled with passion as he looked at the location of the pure soul force. He had a slanderous look on his face as he constantly smacked his lips. Kakik, soul essence, soul essence. A voice that seemed to come from the depths of hell pierced through the air. Immediately, the young man dashed towards the location of the soul essence. His speed was so fast that no one could catch up to him. At this moment, Lin Ray was the happiest. Although he had released his soul energy, the seed demon was ready. As long as the person who cultivated the soul art appeared, he would definitely be killed in one strike. There was no way he could escape. Whoosh! Suddenly, the sound of something breaking through the air was heard. Lin Ray, who was ready to take action, immediately launched an attack towards the source of the strange movement. However, what made Lin Ray feel helpless was that when he launched his attack, he saw that the person who came was the male emperor who had stayed behind to look after his family. Hot twist! He knew how terrifying the seed demon was. Therefore, when the seed demon was about to enter the young man's body, he used twist. In an instant, the seed demon that was flying at high speed stopped and returned to Lin Ray's side. Lin Ray didn't want to say anything about this matter. However, the young man felt very embarrassed. Just now, he had sensed the presence of danger. However, the danger disappeared in an instant. He knew that Lin Ray had a part to play in this. The male emperor who landed beside Lin Ray said to Lin Ray with an embarrassed expression, "I'm sorry, Brother Lei. I didn't know. All right, that's enough. Hurry up and go to Lin Tian." Before he could finish speaking, the feeling that made Lin Ray's heart palpitate appeared again. This time, Lin Ray was sure that he was ashamed of the person who cultivated the soul art. This feeling was still fresh in his memory, as if it had happened yesterday. Tendo Seed Demon. In an instant, the seed demon dashed out of his palm and flew toward a tree not far away after sensing the source of the palpitation. The seed demon's speed was extremely fast. It was so fast that Lin Ray felt ashamed of his own inferiority. At the same time, the seed demon was a shapeless thing. Even if he approached it, he wouldn't notice anything wrong. Chapter 474. Bang! A loud noise came from the front, but strangely, there was nothing unusual there. How could this be? Seeing this, Lin Ray's heart pounded. He knew that his seed demon had failed. Lin Ray had to be careful in this situation. He didn't know the strength of the other party. Although he knew that no one in the lower world could cultivate to the immortal venerable realm, it was inevitable that there would be some unusual existences, such as himself. Ha ha! Suddenly, another sound that made Lin Ray's heart tremble was heard. It was like the sound of an ancient corpse from the Nine Nether, which made people feel terrified. Immediately, Lin Ray waved his hand and slashed out a ray of sword chi in the direction of the sound. However, the same thing happened this time. The sword chi slashed at an ancient tree not far away. The ancient tree fell to the ground with a loud bang, causing the ground to tremble. The continuous bombardment was dodged by that thing. It was the first time that such a situation had happened. At the same time, Lin Ray felt very aggrieved. Damn it, at least show your face. You're making me lose face. Although he said that, he didn't dare to slack off for a moment, because he knew that if he didn't pay attention, that person would have an opportunity to take advantage of. At that time, it was hard to say who would live and who would die. His body tensed up. With the sword chi in his left hand and the seed demon in his right hand, Lin Ray, who was fully prepared, released his spiritual strength again, increasing the temptation to the mysterious person. Boom! A vast amount of spiritual energy was released from his body, spreading out in all directions. For a moment, all of the living beings in the forest, upon sensing Linley's spiritual energy, were frozen to the spot. There was no power at all. Aside from being able to nourish their bodies, it also had a great effect on their cultivation. Whoosh! Suddenly, a sound of something breaking through the air was heard. Lin Ray, who had been observing all the strange phenomena around him, felt the movement behind him. Without hesitation, he slashed the sword chi that had been condensed in the air. The speed was so fast that it was unpredictable. Lin Ray believed that even a cultivator at the same level as him couldn't dodge it. Bang! PFFF! Lin Ray was overjoyed when he heard the strange sound. He turned around and looked at the person lying on the ground not far away. This person was wearing a black hat and didn't look very tall. He was dressed in black and gave off a cold aura that made people shudder. Step by step, Lin Ray walked towards the black-clothed man with vigilance. The vigilance in his eyes made Lin Tion and the young man extremely shocked. This kind of vigilant expression was something they had seen before. Even in the immortal world, other than entering some secret realms, there was no one else who could make the god in their hearts reveal such an expression. At this moment, the two of them were nervous. Their eyes were fixed on Lin Ray's actions. It would not be good for them to do anything. Did he faint? At this moment, Lin Ray came to the black-clothed man's side. He was shocked when he saw that the black-clothed man didn't have any aura. According to common sense, it was impossible for a person to not have any aura. Even he himself couldn't do it, let alone an ant who hadn't even reached the earthly immortal realm. So I don't care anymore. I'd better hurry up and plant the seed demon. Lin Ray couldn't figure out. He gave up searching for the black-clothed man. Then, the seed demon that he had prepared earlier rushed towards the black-clothed man. However, something unexpected happened at this moment. Whoosh! Just as the seed demon was about to reach the black-clothed man, the man who had fainted suddenly changed his movement and fled towards the distance with great speed. It was so fast that Lin Ray was caught unprepared. Damn! No way! This is the second seed demon. If it doesn't work, then it's really over for us. 2 seconds after the black-clothed man fled, Lin Ray came to his senses. Then, he unleashed his immortal venerable cultivation and chased after the black-clothed man. Rumble, rumble, suddenly the space started to shake as if it was about to collapse. Lin Ray, who was chasing after the black-clothed man, didn't slow down. Instead, he sped up and chased after the black-clothed man at full speed. Boy, are you crazy? This is not the immortal realm. Do you want this world to collapse by unleashing your full cultivation here? The sudden roar made Lin Ray even more anxious. Looking at the fleeing figure in front of him, Lin Rei thought about the little dragon's words. Lin Rei was in a dilemma for a moment. However, he was about to catch the black-clothed man. If he gave up now, he would miss the opportunity and it would be difficult to catch him in the future. He was struggling in his mind. On one hand, he should restrain his cultivation. On the other hand, he should chase after the black-clothed man. The two thoughts were in a fierce battle. In the end, the latter won. Okay, don't say any more. I know, but I can't give up. If I don't succeed this time, I will leave. This thing is here. It's a threat to the entire Tianxin continent. So I will catch it. Whoosh! In an instant, Lin Rei's speed increased again. In the blink of an eye, he was running side by side with the black-clothed man. Humph! Boy, I've suffered 3 losses at your hands. You should be proud. Let me play with you next. As he spoke, Lin Li, with a devilish smile on his face, suddenly turned around and lashed out with a whip kick at the black-clothed man. Bang! After a loud sound, the black-clothed man was sent flying in a parabola in the distance until he finally smashed into the ground. Perhaps it was because Lin Rei was unhappy, but he sent the black-clothed man flying 100 meters away. He fell to the ground and rolled for a few dozen meters before coming to a stop. Pooh! A mouthful of blood spurted from the black-clothed man's mouth. The hat that was originally on his head fell off at this moment, revealing the man's shocked face. It was a head that looked like a porcelain doll. His face was extremely delicate, like a work of art. His mouth was so small that it was mesmerizing. However, because he vomited blood, the boy's face was pale. At the same time, there were traces of blood at the corner of his mouth. His appearance was extremely distressing. When this scene appeared, Lin Rei suddenly felt that he was very bad. At the same time, what shocked Lin Rei was that the boy in front of him should not be more than 15 years old. Looking at his size, he should be around 11 or 12 years old. TSK, you must be joking. An 11 or 12-year-old boy actually has such powerful strength. If I didn't use the power of the celestial supremacy, I'm afraid, the more he thought about it, the more aggrieved Lin Rei felt. He never thought that he would be tormented by a child one day. Furthermore, this torment was not clear. What do you think? People who cultivate the soul mantra are extremely terrifying. Back in the beginning of the Eldritch Age, there was a person who cultivated the soul mantra. Back then, the Eldritch Age was extremely dark. Therefore, you should pray that this is a child. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to speak to me now. When the system's mocking voice entered Lin Rei's ears, Lin Rei was instantly stunned. However, he did not refute it, following which he took a few steps forward. In a few breaths, Lin Rei was already in front of the boy. Looking at him, Lin Rei's heart was filled with melancholy. That's enough. If only it was my son. At the very least, I wouldn't let him cultivate such a cruel mantra. Although this was what he thought, it was impossible. Following which, the seed demon that was prepared was instantly shot into the boy's body by Lin Rei. With a whoosh, an invisible sound broke through the air. It came quickly and left quickly. The sound disappeared in an instant. Ding dong, congratulations to the host. The seed demon has successfully entered the boy's body. The system's cold voice sounded. Immediately, Lin Rei's heart was filled with joy. I finally succeeded. Looking at the boy who was lying on the ground and had fainted from vomiting blood, Lin Rei hurriedly crouched down and carried him in his arms. Then, he walked towards Lin Tian. At the same time, seeing that the battle had naturally ended, Lin Tian and the male emperor instantly walked out and joined up with Lin Rei. Young master, give him to me. Lin Tian, who came to Lin Rei's side, hurriedly said to Lin Rei. At the same time, Lin Tian's hands had already held the boy in Lin Rei's arms. Looking at the little boy who was like a porcelain doll, Lin Tian and the male emperor didn't dare to make any moves. They had clearly seen the scene just now. There weren't many people who could withstand 3 moves from Lin Rei, and the little boy in front of them was indeed one of them. Although it was somewhat unreal, it had already happened. Let's go. Everything here is done. We should also leave. When we return to the immortal realm, I will send someone to send your family members to the sect. As for us, at this point, Lin Ray paused and glanced at the little boy in Lin Tian's arms. His originally hesitant expression instantly turned resolute as he said, "I will transcend my tribulation in the valley of immortals in the endless mountain range." After saying that, Lin Ray walked forward. When Lin Tan, who was carrying the boy, heard his young master's words, he was momentarily stunned. He didn't expect his young master to bring such a little boy into the immortal realm. This made him unable to believe it. At the same time, he also knew that his strength was lacking. Although he thought this way, he still obeyed Lin Ray's orders. Lin Ray's orders were like his life. The three of them didn't speak along the way. Soon, under the lead of the boy, they arrived at the place where the boy's family members were. At this moment, Dongwon had already woken up. The moment he saw Lin Ray, Dongwon immediately stood up in excitement. When Lin Ray walked in, he instantly knelt on the ground and fiercely kowtowed to Lin Ray. The sound of his kowtowing was so loud that it made Lin Ray somewhat stunned. Bang, bang, bang. The sound resounded in this space. Suddenly, the loud sound pulled Lin Ray's attention back to reality. You can't. Hurry up and get up. This is unacceptable. Chapter 475. Lin Ray, who had regained his senses, hurriedly stepped forward to help him up. His flustered look warmed the heart of the male emperor, who was beside him. No, you saved me. At the same time, you helped my son achieve what he is today. You are the benefactor of the Dong family. You are our benefactor. His eyes were filled with respect, and he wanted to kowtow again. Lin Ray, who could not bear it, said sternly, "If you do this again, I won't care anymore. My son is my brother. It's normal for me to help him. You're my son's father, which means you are my family. Therefore, there's no need to do these superficial things between family members." After saying that, a stream of pure immortal qi instantly appeared on Dongwon's knees. Then it lifted him up. When the male emperor saw this, he hurriedly went forward to help his father up. He also cast a grateful look at Lin Ray. "All right, brother, hurry and help your father heal. I'm afraid we can't leave today. It won't be too late for us to leave tomorrow when your father's injuries are better." As he spoke, a bottle of pills appeared in Lin Ray's hand. He threw it to the male emperor and brought him to the side without saying anything. Seeing this, the male emperor did not disturb them. He took the pills and helped his father to the side to start healing. As for Dongqing's family and the male emperor's mother, the four of them walked to the side and started a fire to prepare for dinner. "All right, Xiao Tian, you must be tired. Give him to me and go rest." Lin Ray, who had come to the side, said to Lin Tian. He stretched out his hand to take the male emperor into his arms and placed him on the ground. "Okay, got it." Hearing Lin Ray's words, Lin Tian did not resist. Instead, he obediently agreed and walked to the side to sit down. He closed his eyes and fell into a deep sleep. After everything was quiet, Lin Ray smiled and came to the male emperor's side. His finger, which was filled with immortal qi, touched the male emperor's neck. The unconscious male emperor woke up. Although the tyrannical aura on his body was still there, it was much better than before. "He's awake." Lin Ray, who was sitting to the side, didn't say anything else after speaking to the child. Instead, he waited for the boy's reply. There was a moment of silence. It was so quiet that Lin Ray felt a little helpless. He had originally wanted the boy to respond, but now he was thinking too much. "Tell me." Although the boy was already awake, he didn't seem to want to tell him half of the story. Finally, Lin Ray couldn't help but ask, "What's your name? Where's your family? Why are you here? And why are you cultivating the soul art?" After a series of questions were asked by Lin Ray, the room was still very quiet. After seeing that the boy's silence was golden, Lin Ray was very unhappy. Just as Linley was about to open his mouth and force him to do so, an extremely cold voice, one so cold that it was as though one had walked through 10,000 years of ice, spoke out. "Kill the heavens." Kill the heavens? After hearing the boy say his name, Lin Ray repeated it and was shocked. This name was too awesome. Kill the heavens. there was actually someone in this world with such a name. I don't have parents, so I'm an orphan. As for the reason why I'm here, I don't know. Since I can remember, I've been fighting with the monsters here. As for the soul art you mentioned, I don't know. But I think you should be talking about the energy in my body. The cold voice sounded again. The information in his words made Lin Ray sympathize with him. He didn't know that this child had such an experience. That's right. Where did the energy in your body come from? From what I know, this energy shouldn't appear here. In the end, Lin Ray was most interested in the soul art energy in the boy's body. I don't know. This energy was unintentionally used by me. It can make me stronger. So, speaking until here, Kill the Heavens didn't continue because Lin Ray already knew what he was going to say. Oh, is that so? Hearing Kill the Heavens answer, Lin Ray was very disappointed. He originally thought that he would be able to find the soul art, but he didn't expect it to be an eggshell without the heart. However, it was still okay. At least he had subdued someone who had made him fail several times. This could be considered an unexpected gain. I understand. You will follow me from now on. Also, don't use your energy casually, especially to your own people. Hearing this, Kill the Heaven's eyes were slightly stunned. He then replied without hesitation, "Okay, I understand. If there's nothing else, I'll go to sleep first." After saying that, Shatian went to the side and instantly fell into a deep sleep. Linley's heart ached when he saw this. Looking at how a 12-year-old child was able to live in the forest, Linley knew that Shatian must have gone through a lot of hardships. Lin Ray didn't say anything and chose to rest. Lin Ray and the other two fell into a deep sleep. Although this was the forest, Lin Ray didn't think that any demonic beast would dare to approach this place unless they didn't want their lives. As for the boy, he didn't sleep either. Because he knew that he would be leaving tomorrow, he didn't stop healing his father. The sun set and a bright moon hung high in the sky. The moonlight shone on the forest, making it seem like the forest was covered in white clothes. It was very mysterious and noble. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, it was the morning of the second day. The sun gradually rose into the sky and shone on everyone's faces. At this moment, Lin Ray had already woken up. Looking at the morning sky, Lin Ray felt very relaxed. He stood up and lowered his head to look at Lin Tian and Kill the Heavens. Lin Ray didn't hurry to call them. Instead, he left alone and walked towards the depths of the forest. On the other side, the boy was sitting at the side and recovering. As for Dongwon, he was probably a little tired after a night of recovery. At this moment, Dongwon had already fallen into a deep sleep. Not long after, Linley returned. He was carrying a huge demonic beast on his shoulder, looking extremely miserable. How much had this poor demonic beast suffered in its lifetime to end up like this? With a loud bang, everyone who was sleeping in their dreams woke up at this moment. "Who is it? Can't you let me sleep?" An impatient voice rang out. Instantly, everyone's gaze turned towards the voice, including Linley's. When he saw the younger brother, Dong Tiansheng, Lin Ray's eyes showed a trace of killing intent. This wasn't the first time he heard such words. However, for the sake of his younger brother, Lin Ray didn't make a move. As for Lin Tian, when he wanted to kill Dong Tiansheng, he was stopped by Lin Ray. Forget it. A great person won't hold a grudge against a petty person. Moreover, he's the younger brother of my younger brother. After saying that, Lin Tian, who had already stood up, sat back down. However, he couldn't control the killing intent on his body, and it was rolling towards Dong Tiansheng. Lin Ray didn't care about this. As long as he didn't kill, he wouldn't interfere. Then, Lin Ray, who didn't care about anyone else, went to the side. A blood-red flame appeared instantly. The temperature of the surrounding space increased the moment the flame appeared. In the end, the surrounding air was almost burning. In an instant, the flame reached the body of the giant demonic beast and began to burn quietly. As time passed, the demonic beast that was originally filled with blood slowly emitted a fragrant smell. When the surrounding people smelled it, they couldn't help but salivate. Their throats squirmed as they swallowed their saliva. In the blink of an eye, An hour had passed. Originally, there's only the fragrance from time to time, but at this moment, it was still very fragrant. The flame in Lin Ray's hand was also retracted. Hee hee. Little Tian, Sha Tian, quickly come and eat. After we finish eating, let's leave quickly. After waving his hand to Lin Tian and Dong Tiansheng, who had been gossiping for a long time, he tore off a piece of fat meat and stuffed it into his mouth without caring about the influence of the immortal prime. The meat of a demonic beast was not like that of an ordinary beast. Every piece of meat in its body carried traces of spiritual qi. Similarly, demonic beasts paid the most attention to their physical bodies. Therefore, although the meat of demonic beasts was slightly hard, it didn't feel greasy at all, and it tasted very delicious. Ao Wuin! A strange sound was heard. Immediately, Lin Ray hurriedly looked over. At this moment, Lin Ray was no longer concerned about eating. Instead, Sha Tian had entered the demonic beast's stomach and began to gnaw from the inside out. He looked very cute. However, Lin Ray's eyes were red, and he began to eat quickly. When Lin Tian saw this scene, he was very happy. He revealed a happy smile and prayed in his heart. I hope this can last forever. Young master can be happy forever. As for Dong Tiansheng and the others, because of their previous words and actions, they didn't dare to get close to Lin Ray. As for Dong Tiansheng, he was still recovering his spiritual qi. Time passed by slowly. In the blink of an eye, more than half an hour had passed. Originally, there were 5 demonic beasts, but under the joint attack of Lin Ray and Sha Tian, they were nearing the end. Brat, this is mine. It's much harder for you to eat it. Lin Ray complained. However, what Lin Ray didn't know was that at this moment, everyone's eyes were on the two of them. Who said that? I'm the one who grabbed it. Moreover, how old are you? I'm only 11 years old. Haven't you heard of the saying, the big one should let the small one live until old? A stubborn voice that didn't give Lin Ray any face sounded. The voice was filled with coldness. This is my territory, and I'm the boss. Therefore, this thing is mine. At this moment, Lin Ray and Sha Tian were fighting over a big bone with meat in their hands. They looked like they were going to teach them a lesson if they didn't let them have it. The scene was very funny. No, this is mine. Chapter 476. In order to save face, Lin Ray could only hand over the food to Sha Tian. Although he was unwilling, he had no choice. Sha Tian was at an advantageous age. Hee, you should have done this earlier. You made me snatch it for you. I have digested a lot of the food I ate before. Sha Tian, who got the meat, looked at Lin Ray with an expression that said, it's all your fault. You. Looking at Shaishan's expression, no matter how angry he was, he couldn't bear to hit him. However, other than not being able to smile, everything about him, whether it was his appearance or his cultivation, made people jealous. Okay, hurry up and eat. I will bring you to a place where you will forget to leave. There will be something even better than barbecued meat. Lin Ray said to Sha Tian. Then he walked to the center of the crowd and said, Brother, when we enter the tunnel, use your immortal qi to protect them. With their cultivation, it is very difficult for them to ascend to the immortal realm. Okay, got it. Hearing Lin Li's words, the male emperor nodded solemnly, then returned to the side of his family, a nervous look in his eyes. Okay, let's go. Lin Ray, who had done everything last night, saw that Sha Tian had finished eating the meat. Then, Lin Ray took out the system and threw it on the ground. Boom! There was a loud explosion, and a terrifying suction force instantly appeared. Lin Ray, Lin Tian, and Sha Tian were fine. After all, their cultivation was strong. However, the others were not the same. A miserable shriek came from Dong Tiansheng's mouth. Then, a figure flashed by and quickly flew into the vortex. Quick, catch him! Lin Ray stared at this scene. Letting a cultivator who wasn't even at the Mahayana realm enter the tunnel was no different than courting death. Fortunately, the Empress was already prepared for any unexpected situations. Just as Dong Tiansheng was about to enter the tunnel, a big hand that had always made him feel very warm suddenly grabbed him. Dong Tiansheng was about to enter the tunnel when a big hand that had always made him feel very warm suddenly grabbed him. At this moment, Dong Tiancheng was scared out of his wits. What was even more embarrassing was that the area between Dong Tiancheng's legs was wet. When Lin Rei saw this scene, a feeling of disgust arose spontaneously. He felt that this was a bit inconceivable. They were clearly brothers, but why were these two so different? One was bold and daring, while the other was... Thinking of this, Lin Rei didn't continue thinking about it. Anyway, this matter had nothing to do with him. Moreover, the chances of meeting in the future were very slim. All right, get up quickly. At this moment, the Empress, who had already returned to a safe place, spoke to her younger brother who was still lying on the ground in fear. Oh. Although Dong Tiancheng agreed, his body didn't have any intention of moving. This scene made the young man feel so ashamed that he couldn't show his face. Sigh, that's enough, little brother. In order to not make things difficult for the boys, in the end, she decided to put them into the system. Whoosh! In an instant, the man's family all disappeared from the sky. They were all taken into the system space by Lin Rei. Let's go. After doing all this, Lin Rei smiled and patted the Empress beside him. Then, he took the lead and entered the tunnel, disappearing from the mysterious sky continent. This time, he was really going to bid farewell to this place. Let's go. When Lin Tian saw Lin Rei leave, she followed closely behind. After saying this to the young man, she took Sha Tian and entered the tunnel. The young man was right behind her. Just like that, their trip to the mysterious sky continent ended. However, they didn't know that their return had caused a huge commotion in the central region of the mysterious sky continent. Because of the aura released by the young man, all the cultivators in the central region thought that a strong cultivator had appeared. Those who were in seclusion or training all rushed to the central region to see the aura of a strong cultivator. A month later, everyone left the central region in disappointment. They returned to their respective sects and took up their positions. In the western part of the immortal world, in the endless mountain range, there was a valley in a paradise. The sounds of birds and beasts chirping could be heard. This place was full of flowers and spirit herbs, giving people a peaceful feeling. However, it was completely different once they left the valley. The valley was filled with demonic beasts of various levels. Almost every demonic beast was the size of a small mountain. They had ferocious eyes and fangs, and they could faintly smell the scent of blood from a few miles away. There were countless bones on the ground. Some were human, some were monster. The whole scene made people's hair stand on end. The aura of each monster was very strong, and their roars were endless. However, it was precisely in this endless danger zone that there was a place where one could settle down and settle down. Whoosh! At this moment, in the originally peaceful valley, a whirlpool appeared. It stirred up the surrounding immortal chi. Ow! Ow! The appearance of the whirlpool caused the entire endless mountain range to become restless. The cries of the beasts continued. The cultivators who were supposed to be training in the endless mountain range were frightened by the roars of the beasts and directly retreated. Whoosh! Whoosh! 4 figures rushed out of the whirlpool and arrived in the Valley of Immortals. At the same time, the whirlpool disappeared. Haha! Valley of Immortals, I'm back. At this moment, a man was looking around at everything around him. Although there were many changes compared to when he left, it was because many spiritual medicines had grown here. Lin Rei, didn't you say there was delicious food here? I've been in the tunnel for more than a month. I'm starving. I eat your pills every day. Don't you know? I'm almost scared to death of them. A very discordant voice rang out, instantly shattering that bit of gentleness in Linley's heart. AI, look at you. You're a child, and you don't admit it. You only think about eating every day. The 4 of them were talking about Lin Rei, who had just returned from the mysterious Heavens continent. Originally, Lin Rei wanted to directly teleport to the Xuanzong Sect. However, after thinking about it, Lin Rei thought about the Valley of Immortals that he and Old Yuan had discovered when they first arrived in the Immortal Realm. They immediately located the location and came here. At this moment, Sha Tian jumped down from Lin Tian's body and rolled his eyes at Lin Rei. Then, he went to the side and squatted on the ground without saying a word. Huh. Looking at Shaishan's expression, Lin Rei smiled and said to Lin Tian and the male emperor, "All right, you guys go and catch some demonic beasts. It's best if they're the heavy class. I'm afraid this guy won't have enough to eat. You only know how to talk about me. Aren't you the same?" As soon as Lin Rei finished speaking, Sha Tian retorted unhappily. Instantly, the entire Valley of Immortals quieted down. Erm, I'll go with Lin Tian first. You guys take your time to chat." Seeing that the atmosphere wasn't right, the young man hurriedly said to Lin Rei and dragged Lin Tian away. "What's wrong?" In the valley, Lin Tian, who was being dragged away by the young man, asked the young man with a puzzled expression. Haha, nothing. Let's go." Hearing Lin Tian's question, the young man was stunned for a moment. Then, he didn't say much and brought Lin Tian into the depths of the Valley of Immortals. At this moment, in the valley, seeing that Lin Tian and the young man had left, Lin Rei's expression returned to normal. He glared at Sha Tian with a pair of tiger-like eyes and had the urge to rush up and eat him. "TSK, you don't have to be like this. You're old. Just stare. When I grow up, I will definitely not lose to you. When that time comes, let's see if you still dare to bully me." Hearing Shaishan's words, Lin Rei wanted to cry and laugh at the same time. Okay, I'll wait." After saying that, Lin Rei walked to the side and sat on the ground. Then, he entered a meditative state. Kid, I didn't expect you to be angered by an 11-year-old kid. TSK. In the system, Lin Rei, who was in a meditative state, came to the system. He didn't expect to hear the little dragon's voice as soon as he entered. Rolling his eyes, Lin Rei couldn't refute the little dragon's words because it wasn't necessary. He knew that no matter what he said, he couldn't win against the little dragon. In the end, he would only make things worse for himself. Looking at Lin Rei's silent expression, the little dragon revealed a bitter expression. "Sigh, this is too boring. You don't even know how to joke with me." "That's more like it." Looking at the little dragon's expression, Lin Rei was overjoyed. This was the first time he KO'd the little dragon with words. "All right, since you've returned to the Divine Realm, hurry up and advance to the Divine Realm. You don't have much time left." "Okay." Looking at the little dragon's serious expression, Lin Rei immediately put away his playful nature and began to treat it seriously. To advance to the Divine Realm, one must release all of their cultivation. Ordinary people would have to undergo a terrifying thunder tribulation. As long as they passed the thunder tribulation, they would be guided to the Divine Realm. But you're different. Because of the chaos scripture, you don't need to undergo the thunder tribulation. As long as you release your cultivation, you'll be guided. Of course, let me tell you something about cheating. At this point, the little dragon's voice was filled with mockery. Sneakily, it came to Lin Rei's side and said, "When you're guided to the Divine Realm, you'll have unimaginable benefits. Besides, the system will also give you double the EXP." As soon as the words came out, Lin Rei was instantly stunned. If what the little dragon said was true, then breaking through to the Divine Realm wouldn't be a problem. Just as Lin Rei was feeling happy, the little dragon's voice sounded again. "Of course, you're already at the Celestial Venerable stage. Advancing to the Divine Realm is just a matter of taking a step, so it won't be a problem for you." But at this point, the little dragon stopped. What scared Lin Rei was that the little dragon's smile contained a trace of evil that terrified him. However, after breaking through to the Divine Realm, before entering the Divine Realm, I'll seal all of your spiritual roots, aptitude, and comprehension. Chapter 477. You. Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei frowned. He kept saying you, but in the end, he calmed himself down. "Little dragon, you can't do this. You know that in order to join a sect, one needs spiritual roots and talent. You sealed all these for me. Isn't this clearly a prank?" Lin Rei's eyes were filled with grievances. He wasn't the same, so he was looked down upon the moment he went up. Moreover, the most important thing was the mission. Thinking about the mission, Lin Ray couldn't help but want to scold the system. Don't even think about it. Since the mission has been issued and you have accepted it, there is no chance to change it. So just accept your fate. After speaking, Lin Ray wanted to say something else, but the little dragon had already disappeared in front of Lin Ray. Go away, it's just a joke. Seeing that the little dragon had disappeared, Lin Ray began to complain in the system. Wong. Just as Lin Ray was complaining, the food in front of him suddenly changed. Shatian appeared. After sensing everything around him, Lin Ray was helpless. You didn't expect me to leave the system, right? How shameless. After saying that, Lin Ray had no choice. It was already a foregone conclusion. It was even harder to regret. In the end, Lin Ray resigned himself to fate. At this moment, Lin Tian and the male emperor, who had gone out, returned. However, there was nothing in their hands. Why, where's the meat? Where's my meat? Before Lin Ray could say anything, Shatian, who had been squatting on the ground, was no longer willing. He didn't care who the other party was and immediately stood up and shouted at Lin Tian and the empress. When this scene appeared, Lin Ray, who was originally depressed, instantly revealed a smile. All right, stop fooling around. Hurry up and give a meat to this little guy. Lin Ray didn't believe that they couldn't get the demon beast. Yes, young master. The empress, who originally wanted to scold Shatian, heard Lin Ray's words. Lin Tian, who was beside him, immediately took out the roasted demon beast meat from his storage ring and handed it to Shatian. Whoosh! Shatian broke through the air. At this moment, Shaishan's speed was extremely fast. Before Lin Tian could feel it, the meat in his hand had disappeared. When he reacted, he realized that not far away, Shatian was gnawing on a demon beast that was a few times larger than him. This kid, looking at the innocent assassin who only knew how to eat, Linley grew more and more fond of him. All right, when he's done eating, I'll prepare to ascend to the divine realm. At that time, I'll put you into space. Once I reach the divine realm, I'll release you. Hearing this, Lin Tian and the other man immediately beamed with joy. Their brows relaxed, and their eyes were filled with excitement. All right, we'll listen to you. All right. Lin Ray waved his hand, and 6 people appeared in front of him. One of them was the younger brother's family and one of the members of the Shura clan. Big brother. The moment Dong Wen's family appeared, the sharp-eyed Dong Tiancheng saw the younger brother and called out. Yes. As for the male brother, when he saw his younger brother's appearance, he coldly nodded his head and did not say anything else. Dong Tiancheng was stunned by this and returned to his original spot with a deflated expression. Blood 36, their elder Dong's family. Send them to the Xuanzong Sect and explain everything to Yuan. As for you, you will stay in the Xuanzong Sect. When you break through and reach the God Realm, I will wait for you there. Yes, young master. Blood 36 agreed quickly because Lin Ray's orders were his life. Meanwhile, Linley moved his gaze on a Dong One and said, Uncle Dong, you can follow him. When the time comes, my son will arrange for all of you to stay in the sect. From today onwards, all of you can cultivate properly in the sect. I hope we'll be able to meet again in the divine dimension. After speaking, Linley gave the male emperor a look. Then, he left with Lin Tian and returned to Shaishan's side, leaving some space for the male emperor who was about to be separated. The younger brother understood Lin Ray's meaning and began to say goodbye to his family. Lin Ray actually cried when he saw the younger brother. Lin Ray felt very guilty. However, he didn't regret it. That was the only way the younger brother could become strong. That was the only way he wouldn't be bullied by others. That was the only way he could protect the people he wanted to protect. Time passed slowly. This time, Lin Ray didn't disturb them. Instead, he let them say their goodbyes. Half a day passed quickly. The moon was still hanging high in the sky. Beside him, Shatian and Lin Ray were looking at the sky quietly. All right, mother, father, little brother. Once you're in the Xuanzong Sect, you must cultivate well. Don't slack off. I will wait for you in the God Realm. After saying goodbye to his family, the younger brother walked towards Lin Ray. Are you done with your goodbyes? Sensing the commotion behind him, Linley turned around, only to see his younger brother arrive. He casually asked him this question. "Yes, I'm done with my goodbyes." Linley was very pleased with how straightforward and decisive he was. He gave Blood 36, who had been waiting off to the side, a look, and instantly, the Blood 36 transformations appeared in front of Dong-Won and the others. A terrifying wave of immortal chi wrapped around them, and they left the Valley of Immortals. Everything returned to silence. The younger brother's eyes were wet when he saw his family leave. "It's okay. We will meet again in the future. Furthermore, I believe that Uncle will reach the God Realm if he cultivates in the God Realm." Linray walked up and comforted his younger brother. When he arrived at the best place in the Valley of the Immortals, his expression turned serious. At this moment, the younger brother, who was originally sad and reluctant to part, hid his feelings of reluctance in his heart when he saw Lin Ray's actions. Everyone looked at Lin Ray quietly. They were envious that they would be able to break through the shackles of the God Realm like Lin Ray. "Relax your bodies. I will pull you into a space. This will allow you to avoid detection in the group." The moment these words entered Lin Tion and the other two's ears, the three of them instantly emptied their bodies. "Little dragon, I'll leave them to you. I'm going to break through first," Lin Ray said to the little dragon in the system. Then he released his peak immortal venerable cultivation base and caused the sky to tremble. Rumble. When the little dragon in the system heard Lin Ray's voice, it instantly rushed out of the pain. A terrifying soul force rushed out and enveloped the three of them, pulling them into the system. After everything was done, Lin Ray let go of himself. The bright moon was hanging high in the sky. Although the night was a little cold, there was a drastic change now. The sky was no longer black, and the bright moon in the sky was gradually fading away. Golden light flashed as it gradually appeared above Linley's head. Everything in the surrounding area was covered in golden light, and it was extremely dazzling and beautiful. At the same time, a terrifying pressure appeared in an instant. The people who were sleeping or cultivating in seclusion in the west woke up instantly. They all walked out of their rooms and raised their heads to look at the endless mountain range. Because of the strong pressure, everyone in the west, regardless of whether they were ordinary people or cultivators, could feel it. For a moment, everyone was in a panic. Of course, this was only in the hearts of ordinary people. To the cultivators, everyone thought that this was the phenomenon of a divine object appearing in the world. However, they didn't know what was happening. At this moment, the endless mountain range was breaking through to the divine realm. Moreover, the person who was breaking through was Lin Ray of the Xuanzong Sect. At this moment, Lin Ray was sitting cross-legged in the Valley of Immortals. The blood vessels in his body had turned transparent, revealing the surface. Phew! After feeling the scorching aura, Lin Ray exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. Then, he quickly circulated the third stage of the Chaos Sutra. Originally, he could circulate 5 cycles per second. At this moment, Lin Ray forcibly increased it to 15 cycles per year. Regarding this, the little dragon in the system frowned. If Linley had known that a person who was able to circulate a major cycle for 3 months every year, he or she would already be considered a genius. But now, Linley had already circulated 15 cycles. To anyone, this was a form of injury, including Linley himself. But fortunately, Lin Ray's body was strong. Otherwise, he would have exploded and died. As he circulated one cycle after another, the surrounding immortal chi crazily rushed into Lin Ray's body. Mother of Asterisk, this kid is crazy. Looking at Lin Ray's crazy actions, the little dragon frowned. He was in a dilemma. He didn't expect Lin Ray to be so crazy in order to break through. At this moment, the little dragon began to wonder if it was because he was pushing too hard. Swoosh! Just as Linley was breaking through at high speed, in the air above Linley's head, a golden pillar of light suddenly descended, enveloping Linley within it. The moment the golden light fell on Lin Ray's body, an indescribable feeling came from Lin Ray's body. The shackles that he couldn't break through all this time were loosened at this moment. Feeling all this, Lin Rei gave up on the immortal chi around him and instantly used the devouring heaven art. In an instant, a huge suction force emerged and began to devour the golden light around him. However, when Lin Rei saw this scene, he went crazy. For the sake of Lin Rei's safety, he didn't show up to stop it. But he still complained spontaneously. "You're too bold, aren't you? You actually dared to absorb the god's attraction light. You." The little dragon couldn't stop scolding. "Arg!" Lin Rei suddenly let out a roar. The transparent blood vessels around him instantly concealed themselves. However, at this moment, Lin Rei's aura was rapidly rising. A majestic and pure energy rushed out of Lin Rei's body and spread to the surroundings of the Valley of Immortals. Chapter 478. Bang, bang! A terrifying and destructive explosive energy instantly engulfed the entire endless mountain range. Ow! Ow! Miserable cries of demonic beasts were heard continuously. Their cries were filled with helplessness, hatred, and unwillingness. All kinds of emotions were completely released at this moment. Demonic beasts with higher cultivation levels were still able to escape from this energy. However, those with slightly lower cultivation levels were indeed instantly crushed to death by the energy. This scene was extremely terrifying. Tens of thousands of miles away, a tragic massacre had occurred at this moment. However, Lin Rei didn't know all of this. He was immersed in the pleasure of breaking through at this moment. At the entrance of the endless mountain range, cultivators of all levels had already surrounded it. There were even a few immortal emperors among them. However, when they heard the miserable cries of demonic beasts in the endless mountain range, they stopped. It wasn't that they didn't want to go, but the miserable cries forced them to stop. What's going on? What happened here? Why is it like this? At this moment, the eyes of the person at the front turned slightly purple. It was as if he could see through the endless mountain range. We saw a small part of what happened in the endless mountain range. He was so frightened that he retreated again and again. In the end, he directly fell to the ground. Cold sweat flowed down his forehead and back unconsciously. His eyes were wide open. His expression was filled with fear, horror, and panic. His body was even trembling violently. This series of actions frightened the surrounding people. They didn't see what happened in the endless mountain range like the person who fell to the ground. However, from all the actions of the person who fell to the ground, they were scared. At this moment, a calm and composed man in sackcloth clothes who gave people a very comfortable feeling walked out and asked the terrified person on the ground. His gentle tone made the man on the ground feel a little better. "There's no need for that. Tell me what happened inside. Why are you so frightened?" The moment the man's gentle voice sounded, everyone's eyes focused on the man. Ah, Immortal Emperor Yin Shun. He's Immortal Emperor Yin Shun. This was a person who curiously knew the man. He suddenly exclaimed. Instantly, the whole crowd became restless. Let's listen to this fellow cultivator's explanation of what happened in the endless space. The Immortal Emperor's words were very prestigious in the crowd. Everyone quieted down and looked at the man sitting on the ground. Alas, since everyone wants to know so much, then I'll tell everyone. However, I have to advise all of you that you must not enter this place. As long as you enter, you will die, and not even your ashes will be left behind. As soon as these words came out, everyone took a step back. Their eyes were filled with vigilance. For a high immortal cultivator to say such words, they were even more certain that something extremely terrifying must have happened here. Just like that, seeing that everyone was silent, the man faintly told them everything he had seen in the endless space. A few minutes later, the man finished his speech. At this moment, everyone's foreheads were covered in cold sweat, and they looked terrified. How can this be? This kind of power shouldn't appear here. When Yin Shun heard the man's words, he instantly became silent. Although he was an immortal emperor, he knew that he didn't have the strength to do so. All right, everyone hurry up and leave this place. This isn't a place where we can stay. After Immortal Emperor Yin Chun spoke, he instantly released his cultivation and disappeared into the endless entrance, disappearing into the horizon. Damn, the Immortal Emperor is not here. Then what are we still doing here? One of the men who looked very wretched saw Yin Chun leaving and immediately shouted towards the sky. Then, he fled into the distance. Humans were all selfish. Seeing one person leave one after another, everyone no longer felt that there were any treasures in the endless space. Everyone fled with their fastest speed. The originally bustling entrance of the endless space became desolate at this moment. Day and night alternated. 1 day, 2 days, 1 month. The golden light in the sky remained for more than a month. As for what happened in the endless space, the moment Yin Chun and the others left, it was spread across the entire immortal world. From then on, the endless space was listed as a high-class forbidden area. However, although it was a high-class forbidden area, there were still some people who wanted to enter and explore. As the saying goes, wealth comes from danger. How could there be no danger if you wanted treasures? But in the end, it was all in vain. They left the endless space empty-handed and even suffered serious injuries. In the endless valley of immortals, Lin Ray, who was in the middle, was currently emitting a majestic energy. His whole body was wrapped in a mysterious and destructive energy. The golden light around him was still continuing. Damn, what does this kid want? He has already broken through to the true God realm. How much longer does he want to break through? At this moment, the little dragon in the system anxiously looked at Lin Ray's actions. He didn't understand what Lin Ray wanted to do when he had already broken through to the true God realm. However, the fatter little dragon was worried that the pillar of light was gradually dimming. If he didn't ascend quickly, he was afraid that it would be very troublesome in the future. If it really comes down to it, I don't care what kind of host you are. I'll just throw you into the guidance. In the end, the little dragon decided that if Lin Ray didn't wake up at the last moment of the guidance, he would take action. Although it was a little rude, there was no other way. This was all Lin Ray's own fault. Time passed little by little. 3 days had passed. At this moment, the golden light around Lin Ray's body was even more intense than 3 days ago. Moreover, what made the little dragon puzzled was that today, when he was about to take action, a golden figure suddenly appeared beside Lin Ray. Although the appearance was very vague, he could feel that it was a living person. Moreover, its cultivation was no different from Lin Ray's. Doppelganger, Dao, Heaven's spell. A cry of surprise came out of Xiaolong's mouth, and his eyes were filled with a thought-provoking smile. Hee, this kid actually hid such a crazy thing from me. There's really nothing that can hold you back. Seeing this scene, the little dragon didn't grumble like before. Instead, he quietly shut his gossipy mouth. After knowing that Lin Ray was cultivating his doppelganger, time passed little by little. At this moment, the original shadow beside Lin Ray slowly solidified. PFFF. Suddenly, a mouthful of blood was spat out by Lin Ray without warning. However, the slightly purple blood didn't fall to the ground. Instead, it seemed to be fixed by something and was directly transferred to the shadow's doppelganger beside him through a specific path. PFFF, PFFF. Then 2 large mouthfuls of blood were spat out. In the end, all the blood was absorbed into the body of the doppelganger beside him. At this moment, a miracle happened. After the slightly purple blood entered the doppelganger's body, it began to evolve into spiritual veins one after another. It began to spread within the doppelganger. First, it spread from the heart to the limbs, then to the brain and various other organs. At this moment, except for the fact that there was no flesh and blood, this doppelganger was no different from a living person. Thump, 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 thump. A familiar sound fell into Lin Ray's ears. At this moment, a pair of eyes that had been closed for a long time opened at this moment. Swish! A golden light instantly rushed out of the restraint of the eye sockets and directly hit the mountain rocks in front of him. With a loud bang, the rocks that were hit by the golden light instantly exploded. Finally done. I didn't expect this doppelganger to be so difficult to cultivate. It took me so long to form it. Looking at the doppelganger beside him that was full of meridians, Lin Ray's mouth slightly curved into a smile, revealing a trace of joy. However, his eyes showed no signs of relaxing. Boom! The illusory spirit blood fire suddenly appeared. At this moment, the surrounding experience instantly withered and finally became drops of pure blood. Using my blood as a guide cast, Lin Ray suddenly shouted behind him. Along with the golden light, spirit herbs and spirit treasures appeared in the blink of an eye and automatically entered the illusory spirit blood fire to be refined. PFFF. Lin Ray's eyes did not dare to be careless as he looked at all the heavenly treasures in the flame related to refining the doppelganger. Seeing the heavenly treasures dissolve little by little, Lin Ray's heart finally relaxed a little. Thump thump. The sound of his heartbeat came little by little, causing Lin Ray's motivation to become even stronger. I'm really looking forward to it. Looking at Lin Ray, who was about to succeed and create another doppelganger, the smile on his face could not stop. Time passed little by little, and at this moment, Lin Ray's refinement of the heavenly treasures in his hand had reached the final critical point. Only one more step was needed to complete it. PFFF. Suddenly, Lin Ray's empty hand lightly patted his own chest. After that, a mouthful of heart blood instantly sprayed out and was transferred to the doppelganger's heart. Drink, Scorch. After a loud shout, the illusory spirit blood fire suddenly increased the intensity of the fire. The spiritual liquid that carried the heavenly treasures was instantly injected into the doppelganger's body. The raging, illusory spirit blood fire began to burn on the doppelganger's body. Ah! A roar came out from the doppelganger's mouth. Immediately, Lin Ray's brows raised in joy. Then, he increased the intensity of the fire. Time passed little by little. The doppelganger that originally only had meridians now had 4 limbs, a body, and even a head. At this moment, the doppelganger was simply a copy of Lin Ray. No. The two of them were exactly the same. Even if Ouyang Jing stood here, he would not be able to recognize that the two of them were his son, Lin Ray. Looking at his doppelganger taking shape, Lin Ray's heart finally fell to the ground. Deity! A magnetic voice rang out, and for a moment, Linley was stunned. This voice, this face, this figure, this level of training. Mother of asterisk her, this is me. Chapter 479. Not bad at all. The more Lin Ray looked at his clone, the more he liked it. At this moment, his clone was like a mirror of himself. Lin Ray couldn't help but stare blankly at his clone. He didn't know what was going on in his head. Saliva was dripping from the corner of his mouth as he looked at his clone with a silly smile. Main body, is there something on Emperor's face? The clone had its own thoughts. This was the secret of the heavenly clone technique. If a man was constantly being observed by another man, and even had saliva dripping from his mouth, it would be hard not to think of something bad. Right now, the clone, being stared at by Linley's naked gaze, felt all the hairs on its body stand on end. It couldn't help but speak out. Linley, who had been pulled back to reality by his clone's voice, instantly realized how strange he was. Naturally, he wiped his mouth, wiping away the saliva at the corner of his mouth, then said calmly to his clone, "All right, clone, the main body is about to ascend to the celestial realm. Of course, you are also in the true God realm now. However, our imaginations are too similar, so..." Lin Ray had a headache about the imaginations of the two of them. He had calculated everything, but he hadn't calculated that the two of them would look the same. After speaking, Lin Ray's divine sense entered the system and extorted the little dragon. In the end, he got a face mask called the Half Moon from the little dragon. However, what made Lin Ray puzzled was that this face mask was a middle-grade divine artifact. Moreover, its functions were exactly what Lin Ray wanted. Here, this is the divine artifact Half Moon. Once you bring it along, it will be under your control. Once you bring it along, I will enter the sect and you can choose a sect to join. I believe that with the support of your spirit root, as well as your perception, your talent will be top-notch. When the time comes, there will definitely be sects fighting over you. At this point, Lin Ray couldn't help but feel jealous of his clone. Thinking about his own mission, Lin Ray had a headache. All right, got it. The clone nodded obediently, then took the mask from Lin Li's hands and put it on his face. Instantly, the aura of the clone, which had been warm and gentle, instantly changed. His original gentleness had turned into a murderous aura that made people not dare to approach him. Not bad at all. Looking at the doppelganger's current appearance, Lin Ray was becoming more and more satisfied with his doppelganger. Here, this is for you. Lin Ray, who suddenly thought of something, quickly took out a flute from the system. The design was very exquisite. Traces of coldness seeped out, and sword energy surrounded it. However, what shocked Lin Ray was that the aura of the flute was very similar to the aura of his clone. It was as if they were a match made in heaven. Bang! A sword cry pierced through the air, and a vigorous sword aura instantly soared into the sky. The sword tip flickered with a cold light, and gave people a suffocating feeling. After receiving the flute, the doppelganger could not help but draw out the sword hidden within the flute. For a moment, the surrounding winds and clouds stirred. When this happened, Lin Ray hurriedly retreated, allowing the doppelganger to do as he pleased. Bang, bang, bang. A loud sound was heard. Suddenly, Lin Ray felt a little regretful. The place, which was originally filled with immortal chi and abundant spiritual chi, had been messed up by the doppelganger. At this moment, the place was no longer as beautiful as a fairyland. It was simply a ruin. Immediately, Lin Ray hurriedly spoke to stop it. Stop, stop, stop. Hurry up and stop. If you go on like this, I don't need this anymore. At this moment, the doppelganger, who was waving the sword fiercely, immediately stopped when he heard Lin Ray's words. The sword was instantly returned to the flute, and the sword aura also disappeared at this moment. Looking at everything around him, Lin Ray was full of helplessness. However, there was no other way. It had already happened. Okay, you can use this sword in the future. Its name is the Sword and Flute. It is a magic treasure that can be upgraded. Moreover, it is too murderous. I have not used it. Now it seems that this sword and flute was specially prepared for you. Oh, right, this is for you too. With that, Lin Ray hurriedly took out a small porcelain bottle from his ring and casually threw it to the doppelganger. He said, "This pill and the sword and flute were created at the same time. It is called the sword-breaking pill. It is specially designed to improve one sword Dao. When you reach the realm of the gods, after you have settled down in a sect, eat it and increase your talent. At that time, you will be able to use the sword and flute more easily and freely." Oh, hearing Lin Ray's words, the doppelganger's eyes were filled with surprise. Immediately, he opened the bottle, and a terrifying sword aura suddenly shot up to the sky. Damn, this scene directly touched the doppelganger's heart. This sword aura was many times stronger than the sword aura of the sword and flute. For a moment, the doppelganger's heart was filled with joy. Moreover, if Lin Ray was not watching, he probably would have already swallowed the sword-breaking pill. All right, you should get ready. We are about to ascend. We have stayed here for too long. Moreover, when we broke through to the next realm and created you, we used too much of the guiding energy. I hope that when the time comes, nothing will happen to him. With that, Lin Ray went to the guiding area and prepared to ascend to the realm of the gods. However, at this moment, the doppelganger was silent and his eyes were filled with disappointment. When Lin Ray saw this, he immediately asked, "What's wrong with you?" I don't have a name yet." The doppelganger's voice sounded. Immediately, Lin Ray slapped his forehead and then said to the doppelganger with an embarrassed expression, That I forgot. I will give you a name now." After saying that, Lin Ray fell into deep thought. He had to remember the doppelganger's name. After all, the doppelganger was him, and he was the doppelganger. The two of them were inseparable. At this moment, Lin Ray could not help but think of a novel he had read on Planet Aqua Blue. The name of the protagonist was very awesome. It seemed to be Sakura of Time. Instantly, Lin Ray's eyes lit up, and he immediately came back to his senses and said to the doppelganger, "Hee, you will be called Sakura in the future. You are Sakura, one of a kind." As soon as he said that, the doppelganger instantly revealed a smile. If he was not wearing a mask, he would definitely be laughing very happily. "Sakura, my name is Sakura." As soon as he said that, his aura was so imposing that even the doppelganger himself was a little stunned. "Okay, let's go." Looking at the doppelganger's happy face, although he really wanted to make the doppelganger happy for a while longer, time waits for no one. He had already wasted so much time and could not delay any longer. "Okay, got it." The doppelganger and the doppelganger's hearts were connected. Originally, the doppelganger's Dao Heaven art was a doppelganger's cultivation technique. However, halfway through, Lin Ray added his heart's blood, so the two's hearts were connected. As the doppelganger, Sakura naturally knew what Lin Ray was thinking in his heart. Then, the two of them stepped into the light pillar and instantly released their cultivation. After connecting with the light pillar, the two of them turned into light shadows and instantly disappeared into the endless void, disappearing from the celestial world. In the same instant that Linley left, the golden light, which had filled the entire western region of the Great Xia Empire, suddenly disappeared without a trace. "Sai, father has left." At this moment, on a mountain not far from the entrance of the endless void, Lin Yun stood on the peak of the mountain and looked at the light pillar disappearing bit by bit. Tears flowed out of his eyes uncontrollably. "Wait for my father. I will definitely nurture my younger brother well. When Shaoshan is able to take charge alone, I will go to the celestial world to look for you." After saying that, Lin Yun disappeared from the peak of the mountain and shot towards the eastern sky. Lin Ray's disappearance spread throughout the entire celestial world. For a time, the Xuanzong sect became popular in the entire celestial world and fully deserved to be called the top sect in the celestial world, becoming the ruler of the celestial world. As for the endless mountain range, after the golden light disappeared, everyone who feared the endless void came to the endless void and swarmed in. But in the end, they didn't find anything. However, when they entered the endless void and saw the miserable state of the endless void and the dead demonic beasts, they couldn't help but bend over and support themselves against trees, vomiting nonstop. What they saw wasn't the endless void. What they saw was simply the Azura hell, and it was even worse than that. The demonic beasts in the endless void were basically half, and the remaining ones were extremely powerful existences. This place was already useless to them. Since then, the endless void became a forbidden area for all sections. Moreover, all sects, clans, and empires issued a unified order that no one was allowed to enter the endless void without the permission of the sect. Those who disobeyed this order would have their entire clan executed, and their descendants would never be able to cultivate. No one dared to violate this law. Of course, this law also applied to the people of the Xuanzong sect. After Lin Ray left, Lin Yun had to live in the endless void for a period of time. While he was living in the endless void, he had already repaired all the places that were destroyed by Sakura. As for the dead demonic beasts in the endless void, they were also captured by Lin Yun in other mountain ranges and finally filled in the endless void. Since then, the endless void became a forbidden area for everyone, and was even kicked out from the celestial world. The celestial world, a place that people yearned to cultivate. Here, there were as many gods as dogs, and divine generals were everywhere. Only divine monarchs could shake this place. Those above divine monarchs were all in seclusion, and they simply disdained to come out. There was a place in the celestial world that everyone wanted to explore. They didn't know when it appeared, but everyone, including the strongest existences in the celestial world, would be in awe of this place as long as they went there. The starting ground. The starting ground was known as the receiving ground in the celestial world. As the name implied, this was the place where people who came from the lower realm would appear. No matter which realm they came from, they would all appear here. However, this was also the 100-Gate Mountain because there were hundreds and thousands of Sect stationed here in order to recruit new blood for their sections. Because only in this way could the sects continue to grow stronger, no matter if it was a top-notch sect or a mid-tier sect, all the sects would recruit. Of course, as for whether they could recruit people, that would depend on the top-notch sects. Chapter 480. Sigh. It's been 100 years. Why hasn't anyone come up yet? If we keep waiting like this, even my Tao companion won't be willing. In the starting ground, a valiant middle-aged man wearing armor complained to his companion beside him. Hee, that's enough. Do you think I don't know you? You must have cheated some girl. The conversation between the two attracted the attention of everyone around them. The two were chatting happily, felt the surrounding gazes, and became silent awkwardly. Boom! The sudden appearance of the golden light made the immortal sects, who had been waiting impatiently at the starting ground, feel a burst of pleasant surprise. Ha ha! They're finally here, they're finally here. We can go home. The man who spoke before was too simple. At this moment, he was so happy that he couldn't help but laugh out loud. Look at you. Remember, don't let anyone with good aptitude go. Any conditions are fine. Our divine sect will not reject anyone. Yes. Hearing this, the middle-aged man immediately rushed to the front. Wherever he passed, people would take the initiative to give way. Rumble, rumble. A series of loud noises could be heard. Everyone was already waiting. As soon as the figure appeared, they would rush forward like hungry wolves. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Half an hour later, one figure after another appeared in the originally empty golden light. 100,000, one after another, figures appeared in the golden light. Seeing this scene, everyone's hearts were stirred up. As time passed, more and more figures appeared in the golden light. Finally, tens of thousands of people appeared in the golden light. However, Linley and his clone, Sakura, were among these tens of thousands of people. At this moment, they still opened their eyes. However, the instant they opened their eyes, they saw something that they couldn't believe. Originally, they thought that they were the only ones who advanced. In the end, they saw hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of people. Lin Ray was speechless. Deity, it seems that it's not a small matter for us to retreat in front of tens of thousands of people. At this moment, Sakura, who was wrapped in golden light, looked at the people around him. Some of them were of the same level as him, and looking at their clothes, he knew that they must be powerful in the lower bound. Those who block the way die. A simple sentence had already expressed Lin Ray's attitude. He wasn't going to let so many people die just because they couldn't complete the mission given by the system. He wouldn't allow that to happen. Schwa. Suddenly, the golden light disappeared without any warning. At this moment, the impatient sect disciples did not become chaotic because of this. Instead, they became even more orderly. Fellow Taoists who have just ascended, I am Divine Predictor, a disciple of the Enigma Palace, and a disciple of the Divine Generation. The place you're in right now is the starting point of the God world, the place where all of the planes of ascension open up. After he finished speaking, the man who called himself Divine Predictor took a deep breath and then said to Lin Ray and the tens of thousands of people, "We are also guarding the sects here in order to be able to provide fresh blood for the sects in the sky profound realm." At this point, Lin Ray understood. At the same time, he was very happy. Originally, he thought that to complete the mission given by the system, he would have to travel mountains and rivers. He didn't expect that it would be so close. Now, I'll introduce you to the sect stationed at the starting point. After saying that, Divine Predictor directly rose into the sky and looked down at the people who had just advanced. He said in a calm tone, "The immortal world is divided into 2 sects, 3 factions, 2 palaces, and 1 empire. These sects are now in front of you. As long as you can pass their test, you will become a disciple of the top sects in the God world." After saying that, Divine Predictor landed on the ground and returned to the location of his own sect. However, at this moment, when the people who were also from the god world heard that divine predictor didn't mention them at all, they were immediately furious. However, they didn't dare to do anything rash. The sects in the immortal world were divided into the top sections. Just like what divine predictor said before, they were divided into first grade, second grade, and third grade. Among them, the top sects were the highest, followed by the first grade, and so on. The lowest was the third grade. Of course, there were also some unrated sects that weren't in the same grade. Humph, despicable and shameless. A sudden voice caused everyone's gaze to unconsciously gather towards the source of the voice. They saw a black-clothed man with a murderous aura and a gloomy aura. Seeing this scene, Lin Ray suddenly thought of two words, assassin. Interesting. I didn't expect to see an assassin when I just arrived in the god world. Not bad. In this regard, Lin Ray couldn't help but look at the black-clothed man. Looking at the black-clothed man gradually rising into the sky, he coldly looked at divine predictor with a murderous aura in his eyes. I'm the deacon of the heavenly gate, of the heavenly gate, of the 8 heavenly gates of the God world. Today, we are recruiting again. If you are willing, you can come here. My 8 heavenly gates is not inferior to those so-called top sects. After saying that, the black-clothed man landed on the ground, but the murderous aura in his eyes became more and more intense. Interesting, 8 heavenly gates? At this moment, the moment Sakura, who was beside Lin Ray, saw the black-clothed man, his heart was already filled with curiosity. Regarding this, Lin Ray was shocked in his heart. Damn, don't tell me you want to join the heavenly gate. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people all looked over. Everyone's eyes were very strange as they looked at Lin Ray and Divine Predictor. Yes, there is such an intention, but it depends on how capable they are. Listening to the words of his doppelganger, Lin Ray didn't say anything. After all, although the two of them were the same person, after all, he had his own way of thinking. All right, after saying that, Lin Ray turned his head and no longer paid attention to his doppelganger. Since he had found his place, then at this moment, he was the only one left. At this moment, the top sects had already started to recruit new people. Looking at the various sects, Lin Ray's heart was very conflicted. When he first came to the immortal world, he also didn't know where to go. Kid, don't hesitate. Go to the divine sect. Just as Lin Ray was at a loss, the little dragon's voice came. Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Ray's gaze turned towards the divine sect. Can't help but be nervous. As long as you have the qualifications to become a disciple of the sect, then in the future, you will have unimaginable resources. Looking at the actions of the divine sect, Lin Ray's brows were tightly knitted. Checking one's aptitude and spiritual roots, Lin Ray was very vexed by this. But look at them, they insist on having spiritual roots. Even the worst needs aptitude and comprehension. Say, if you see all the things that I can use to join the sect, how can I enter the divine sect? You must know that they are the existence of top sect. At this point, Lin Ray glanced at them. To him, the sect was only a shackle. If possible, he would rather go alone, regardless of whether there were any shackles restricting him. Don't blame me for not telling you, but the divine sect position in the divine realm is extraordinary. Moreover, think about your personality, and the divine sect has something that is worthy of you joining. Something? What thing? Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Ray's interest was piqued. Something that could come out of the little dragon's mouth must be a heavenly treasure blessed by the heavens. Even if it was a bit lacking, it would still be something that would stun everyone. TSK, you don't need to know. When the time is right, I will naturally tell you. But you must remember, you must join the divine sect. Not only will it be beneficial for you to obtain that thing, it will also be beneficial for your cultivation. After hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Ray chose to remain silent. He didn't understand why the little dragon wanted him to join the divine sect, but he knew that it would be beneficial for his future cultivation. After being silent for a long time, Lin Ray finally spoke. Okay, I'll join, but before Lin Ray could finish his sentence, the little dragon's voice rang out again. Don't say no. No matter what you say, the system won't care. Since it has sealed everything you have, then it's up to you. However, don't blame me for not reminding you. This thing might allow the system to level up. Okay, no need to say any more. Just as the system's words fell, Lin Ray made a firm decision and entered the divine sect. I know what to do. At this point, Lin Ray would use all his means to join the divine sect. After all, this was related to the system's level up. Sakura, from now on, this sovereign will be in the divine sect. Still the same words. Those who block the way, kill without mercy. After speaking, Lin Ray walked towards the divine sect. This time, Lin Ray was determined to join, no matter what. As a top-tier sect, there were naturally many disciples entering. Looking at the long queue in front of him, Lin Ray could only helplessly wait at the back. System, check all the information of the divine sect's disciple stationed here. In order to better join the divine sect, it was necessary to understand each other's information. Ding dong, yes host. Ding dong, scanning, please wait. 5 minutes later, ding dong, scanning complete. Please check. Hearing the system's words, Lin Ray hurriedly said, check. After speaking, a screen appeared in front of him. This was something that only Lin Ray could see. On it were the information of two people. One was the station leader, Kai Ming, and the other was the vice leader, Gu Si. Kai Ming, 68,000 years old. Cultivation peak initial stage, divine king realm. Family has a Tao partner, and Gu Si, 46,800 years old. Cultivation peak divine general realm. Family is empty. Looking at the two's information, Lin Ray was shocked. A divine king and a divine general. These are the two realms that Lin Ray yearned for. It seemed that he had to cater to their interests. Otherwise, with his current appearance, wanting to join a top-tier sect like the divine sect will be like a blind man looking at the road. Spiritual roots, not qualified. Not qualified, not qualified, not qualified. Chapter 481. All of them had failed, and all of the other cultivators at the same level as him had walked past him. Linley's heart sank. Although he was half confident, the human heart was the hardest to read. Right now, Linley was hesitating. Unqualified, unqualified. As Linley hesitated, the people in front of him finally left one by one. Finally, it was his turn. Gu Si, who was about to probe, froze when she saw Lin Ray. She didn't know why. However, he was a divine general after all, so he recovered from his shock and stared at the cultivator who had surprised him a little. Come on, give me your hand. As she spoke, Gu Si stretched out her hand, preparing to scan Linley. At this moment, Linley had an awkward smile on his face as he strolled over to Gu Si's side and sent mentally. Senior, this junior's aptitude isn't good enough. What do you think? Outsiders couldn't hear their conversation. When Gu Si heard the voice transmission, her expression turned ugly. She was about to get angry when she heard the same voice again. Senior, please don't get angry. This junior has admired the arcane sect for a long time. I heard it in the immortal world. This junior swore to enter the arcane sect. Of course, this junior doesn't dare to think about becoming a disciple. When he said that, Gu Si's expression softened quite a bit. Immediately after, Gu Si probed Linley's hand and said, Haha, I didn't expect the name of my divine sect to be so resounding in the immortal world. However, but as soon as he did, Linley was stunned. His heart thumped, thinking that it was all over. But after hearing Gu Sabu's words, Linley was stunned as well. However, you still have to go through the motions. Even though your aptitude isn't good enough to be a true disciple, you can still be a disciple. Lin Ray was happy. He didn't expect to be accepted by the arcane sect so easily. He didn't even have to give away the things he had prepared. Thank you, senior. The moment the two left the conversation, Gu Si said qualified. Your aptitude is a bit lacking. Just be a disciple in this sect. Everyone was in an uproar. Over 100 disciples had left, and all of them had failed. Now that one had finally passed, he was still a disciple. Of course, these were the thoughts of those who hadn't participated in the competition. As for those who had been eliminated, they all stared at Linley with unfriendly gazes, as though they wanted to skin Linley alive and swallow him whole. At this moment, how could Linley argue with those who didn't want to do it? Since he had already passed, it meant that his mission had already begun. Thank you, Senior. The strong were respected. Linley knew this. After passing the test, he bowed to Goosey, then returned to stand behind her. Hee, you don't have to do this. Just call me Senior Brother from now on. I'll be in the sect for a long time. If you need anything, just look for me. Of course, I'll do my best. Seeing Goosey in front of him, Linley began to treat her even more kindly. He didn't expect that this divine general would be so kind-hearted. At the same time, Lin Ray was worried about his kindness. In this dog-eat-dog world, being too kind was tantamount to suicide. Yes, Senior Brother. Just like that, Linley successfully joined the sect for the system's mission. Seeing the people behind him being recruited one by one, Linley's heart was filled with joy. Kid, I didn't expect your luck to be so good. You actually met such a little guy. TSK. Just as he was feeling bored, the little dragon's voice sounded. Instantly, Lin Ray's interest was piqued. Tisk, do you think everyone is like you and the system, always thinking of ways to screw me over all the time? Hearing this, the little dragon didn't get angry. Instead, he laughed happily. Tisk, so what if we trick you? Aren't you the one who benefits in the end? If others want us to trick you, we won't be willing. Ha ha! For a moment, Lin Ray, who heard the little dragon's words, couldn't help but laugh out loud. Then, Lin Ray, who seemed to be overjoyed, quickly stopped laughing and looked around. At that moment, everyone was looking at him. For a moment, Lin Ray's expression was very awkward. I'm sorry. As he spoke, Linley hurriedly nodded in acknowledgement. Fortunately, the people around him didn't take him seriously at all and continued to investigate. Looking at them, Lin Ray quickly rolled his eyes at the little dragon and said, All right, I won't talk to you anymore. I'll take a look around. Maybe there'll be some gains. Also, I'll check on the situation of the clone. Yes, go ahead. Anyway, he has what you have, except for the system. But if possible, let him control the entire Assassin's organization. This will be more convenient for you in the celestial realm in the future. After hearing Lin Ray's words, the little dragon in the system nodded and instructed Lin Ray. Okay, got it. After saying that, Lin Ray came to Goosey's side and whispered to him, Senior, I want to go over there and see how the person who came with me is doing. After hearing Lin Ray's words, Goosey, who was busy, quickly turned around and said to him with a serious face, You can go, but don't cause trouble. This is the starting ground. Danger is everywhere. Also, don't argue with him. This is not like the sect. If something happens, I'm afraid I won't be able to save you in time, understand? Okay, got it. After hearing Goosey's advice, Lin Ray felt a warmth in his heart. Then, his impression of him rose to another level. Here, this is for you. Just crush it, and I'll be able to sense your location. Suddenly, a jade token was thrown over. Instantly, Lin Ray caught it in his hand and left after thanking him. Needless to say, there were really many cultivators here. Moreover, there were many strong cultivators. Along the way, Lin Ray activated the system's information system and didn't let a single person go. What supreme grade spiritual root? What high-grade innate talent? They were as rare as phoenix feathers and water chestnuts in the immortal world. However, in this place, they were all crooked melons and cracked dates. In Lin Ray's eyes, although one's innate talent was important, what was more important was their age. They were either thousands of years old or tens of thousands of years old. Regarding this, Lin Ray didn't care at all. After searching for a while, he finally found the figure of the clone not far away. At this moment, Sakura was leaning on a magic circle that could only be held by 7 or 8 people. He had a leisurely look. Looking at him, Lin Ray's face was filled with joy. Then, he hurried to his side. Not bad. You're living a leisurely life? He had already sensed Lin Ray's arrival. Well, it's okay. Anyway, I have nothing to do. Nothing to do. Hearing this, Lin Ray was very puzzled. Everyone was joining the sect, but he actually said that he had nothing to do. Well, yes. After seeing a token with the word T on, Lin Ray sighed. He had begged for his identity. He didn't expect that the clone would be faster than him. However, thinking about it, the clone represented him. Well, not bad. Although the Celestial Killer Sect is an assassin organization, its development prospects are still good. He had also come into contact with assassin organizations. They were paid to eliminate disasters. Looking at the deacon of the Celestial Killer Sect, Lin Ray's heart moved. Then, a seed demon appeared at his fingertips. Just as he was about to take action, he was stopped by the voice of the little dragon. You got guts. If you want to die now, I won't stop you. Hearing the words of the little dragon, Lin Ray couldn't help but roll his eyes at him. Then, the seed demon, which had been ready to take action, retreated. You really think that he's a vegetarian? You have to know that assassins are the same as demons like you. They're all bugs in the dark. Their sense of smell and the information around them are much more sensitive than you. Before you even release your seed demon, your head would have already been separated from your body. The words of the little dragon made Lin Ray's neck turn cold. Then he shivered. Okay, I got it. Although he didn't say much, it didn't mean that he wasn't afraid. Although he had already become a divine being, he was nothing in the divine realm. In order to attract attention, Lin Ray hurriedly repeated the words of the little dragon and left. As for Sakura, after Lin Ray left, he silently pondered. He had already mentally prepared himself for what his original body had just said. The sky gradually darkened, and suddenly, a sense of danger emerged in everyone's heart. At this moment, in the Divine Sect camp, Lin Ray was leaning on a tree with a weed in his mouth. He used his divine sense to explore the area 1 mile around him. It seems that the divine realm isn't some paradise. It's only been one night, and it's already enough to make people feel danger. The moment the sense of danger appeared, Lin Ray knew that tonight wasn't going to be a comfortable night. Just as Lin Ray was vigilant, a figure suddenly rushed into his divine sense. Immediately, regardless of the consequences, the primal chaos dragon spear flew out of his hand and rushed towards the figure. An azure dragon with a flash of golden light instantly rushed out and rushed towards the figure. Bang! It was obvious that the black figure was on guard. However, the strange scene here attracted the attention of the surrounding cultivators. Some of the cultivators who were already paying attention no longer had any desire to rest. They immediately took out their weapons and rushed to the place where the sound came from. I'll beat you up. How dare you sneak attack this sovereign? Do you really think this sovereign is useless? Not far away, the figure who attacked him had his face covered. However, Lin Ray could feel the suppression of his realm. Regarding this place, Lin Ray was shocked. Damn, this sovereign just came here on the first day. I don't think I've offended anyone. How could there be someone from the divine realm? But at this moment, Linley didn't have time to think. That figure instantly charged towards him. Seeing this, Linley narrowed his eyes. His murderous aura instantly surged out. The Chaos Dragon spear in his hand danced continuously. The Nine Heavens Azure Dragon instantly charged out, carrying a murderous aura as it charged towards the black figure. Chapter 482. At this moment, many people had gathered around to watch. Everyone had a smile on their faces, and they were watching this battle with the attitude of watching a show. Of course, Sakura was among them. When he saw Lin Ray being attacked, he wanted to rush forward, but was stopped by Lin Ray's voice transmission. Then, he stayed in the crowd and watched. Break! At this moment, after the man in black roared, a strong beam of light instantly appeared in front of him. When the Nine Heavens Azure Dragon appeared and collided with it, a dazzling light instantly washed over the eyes of all the surrounding onlookers. Crack! Crack! The sound of something breaking was heard, and cracks naturally appeared on the light column. However, at this moment, the 9 dragons were not damaged at all. They were still very dazzling, and their power was not reduced at all as they attacked the light column in front of them. How is this possible? The moment the crack appeared, the black-clothed man cried out in surprise. Although his eyes could not be seen, it was obvious that he was very shocked at this moment. He was shocked that an ant who had just entered the divine realm could break through his attack. Nothing is impossible. With me, everything is possible, including killing you. A voice full of killing intent suddenly sounded from behind. Suddenly, the man was stunned on the spot. He wanted to fight back, but it was too late. Bang! In the instant that Linley arrived behind the black-clothed man, he lashed out with a whip kick towards the heads of the 9 azure dragons. A black blur suddenly shot towards the mouth of the azure dragon in a parabolic arc. But right now, the black-robed man's heart was filled with shock. Not just him. Even the surrounding people who had previously despised Linley and hated Linley couldn't help but feel regret for their previous actions. Haha, I didn't expect to take in such a little monster this time. TSK, TSK, TSK. If those old guys know about this, they will divide him up. Not far away, Goosey, who was ready to take action at any time, saw this scene and relaxed a lot. Although he knew that Lin Ray couldn't win, he was not as anxious as before to rescue him at this moment. Ha ha ha! Suddenly, a burst of laughter rang out. Immediately, Lin Ray's face darkened, and his heart jumped to his throat. Sure enough, it's not that easy to kill a fee examiner. Looks like today is going to be a fight to the death. Lin Ray, who was prepared, clenched Hun Dun's body tightly as cold sweat trickled down his forehead. He stared at Song Long as though he could see through everything. Bang! A loud sound rang out as the 9 heavens azure dragon instantly descended and dissipated in the air, disappearing without a trace. Not bad at all. A jealous and arrogant voice rang out. Instantly, Linley stared warily in front of him. A figure had appeared, emanating a murderous aura that was on par with Linley's own. Because of this, Linley became even more vigilant. Brat, you're doing well. Don't even think about leaving. Stay. Schwa. The moment the black-robed man finished speaking, he saw a shadow dashing towards him with boundless killing intent and divine chi. Instantly, a sense of fear that he had never felt before rose in his heart. However, Lin Ray was not one to be scared. Rather than waiting for death, he decided to take the initiative. After making the decision, Lin Ray released his cultivation as a divine being. His 5 senses, his body, and his magic treasures were all used by Lin Ray to increase his cultivation. Originally, he was already able to kill people of a higher level. Now, with so many enhancements, his strength was even more powerful. Suddenly, a brilliant light was released. Everyone around was stunned. They knew that this kind of brilliance could only be released by a divine weapon. There was no other way to release such brilliance. Damn, a full set of divine weapons. He's so awesome. Where did he get promoted from? And which sect did he join? F***CK. This is too unfair. Why is everyone else so awesome while I have to eat grass? This is not fair. Damn it. Isn't this a deep stab to my lowly self-esteem? Is he still human? The moment they saw Lin Ray's divine weapons, the surrounding people could not help but chatter. Some of them were even crazier. They could not wait to rush up to Lin Ray and pull out his equipment and put it on themselves. However, they had to rely on their own strength. In the end, they could only watch the battle silently. Those who can't get along with me must die. Especially those who provoke me like you. You can't be left alive. Lin Ray, who was already prepared to take action, did not move at all. Instead, his spear shot out first. At this moment, the chaotic dragon spear seemed to be alive as it stood in front of Lin Ray. Its body was emitting a cold light that made people not dare to look at it directly. Come, let's fight together. Lin Tian, I'll let you taste the blood of the people of the divine realm right here. As he spoke, traces of red energy were released little by little. A soul-stirring feeling arose in everyone's heart. SSS. This is the blood chi? At this moment, A very inconspicuous little fellow in the crowd exclaimed in surprise after seeing the red energy emitted from a spear. His voice was so loud that everyone around him heard it. Retreat! A cry of alarm came from the crowd. Immediately, tens of thousands of people retreated far away. They only stopped when the feeling of their souls being sucked away disappeared. How can this be? Why would the blood chi appear here? Moreover, look at that person. He's still fine. The crowd could not accept Lin Rei's current situation. Everyone knew that they could not touch the blood chi, let alone when it was used by a human. This had already turned their worldview upside down. Azura spear art, plunder. Suddenly, there was a roar. The primal chaos dragon spear started to become blurry the moment Linley used his martial skill. When everyone saw it clearly, there was only one spear. At that moment, there were 9 spears. Moreover, each spear was shining with a cold light. What are you giving me? Lin Rei's hand seals were constantly changing. Then, the 9 spears appeared around Lin Rei and surrounded Lin Rei in the center. Swoosh! A sound broke through the air. In an instant, a graceful figure separated from the 9 spears and rushed towards a direction. Bang! A figure appeared in an instant and was sent flying backward. He only managed to stop after flying for 100 meters. Puff! 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 At this moment, the black-clothed man who was lying on the ground felt as if his internal organs were being pulled out. He was in unbearable pain. Blood spurted out from his mouth, and his face turned pale in an instant. How is this possible? How can an early true god defeat me? This is impossible. This is impossible. Bang! In an instant, the black-clothed man bounced up from the ground as if he had gone mad. He exerted all his cultivation in an instant and ignored the pain in his internal organs. A sky piercer appeared in his hand, and he rushed towards Lin Rei. The sky piercer seemed to be alive as it slashed towards Lin Rei with a thunderous force. Although he was able to defeat the black-clothed man for a short while, the black-clothed man's speed was too fast. It was so fast that Lin Rei did not come to his senses for a while. When the sense of crisis reached its end, Lin Rei slowly came to his senses. Die for me. In an instant, the chaotic dragon spear rushed out towards the sky piercer. At the same time, another chaotic dragon spear rushed towards the black-clothed man who was holding the sky piercer. Dang, bam, bam, puff. The sound of weapons colliding with each other was accompanied by the sound of vomiting blood. Suddenly, Lin Rei's face lit up. As the saying goes, kill when you're sick. Lin Rei did not need to sympathize with this kind of person. Just when the black-clothed man vomited blood and was in a daze, a chaotic dragon spear rushed towards him. It was not a joke for a weapon of unknown grade to hit a cultivator's body. Dong! 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 A series of muffled sounds were heard. Lin Rei, who was holding the chaotic dragon spear, was surrounded by 4 chaotic phantoms. He hit the black-clothed man's abdomen with the chaotic dragon spear and flew forward step by step. Puff! Puff! The black-clothed man vomited blood. At this moment, his life was hanging by a thread. If no one appeared, the black-clothed man would die in the next moment and cease to exist. It's over. Remember, in your next life, be a good person. Don't be a gangster. You can't afford it. At this point, everyone in the surroundings heard what he said. Instantly, an uproar broke out. Everyone's eyes were filled with disbelief. They had never imagined that a cultivator of the same level as them would be able to kill an expert of the god realm above his level. Die. Suddenly, Lin Rei, who was holding the chaotic dragon spear, frowned and a cold light flashed in his eyes. This time, Lin Rei did not pour all of his cultivation into the chaotic dragon spear. He also used the illusory spirit blood fire on the chaotic dragon spear and stabbed it towards the black-clothed man's Dan Palace. No matter if it was a cultivator, an immortal cultivator, or a cultivator who was about to enter the divine realm, their Dan Palace was the foundation of a cultivator. If the Dan Palace was gone, it meant that the cultivator had reached the end of the path of cultivation. Poof! The sound of a body being pierced was heard by everyone. Although the sound was not loud, it was still a cultivator in the divine weapon realm. The strength of the Dan Palace was extraordinary. Just the surface of the divine soul inside was already so strong that it was indestructible. However, it was pierced by this unknown brat in front of them. Chapter 483. Dead. An expert at the divine weapon realm was pierced through by Lin Ray's spear, just like that. In the end, he didn't even have a chance to scream before his mouth was shut forever. At that moment, the scene was completely silent. Not a single person spoke. Not even a single bird could be heard. It was extremely quiet. However, Linley didn't care about this at all. Instead, he squatted down and reached out to take off the black man's mask. He saw a middle-aged man who wasn't very handsome, but had a valiant aura appear in front of him. With a disdainful smile, Lin Ray looked at the man who had been killed in the blanket. He didn't have a chance. Instead, he lifted the dead man's hand, and a sparkling ring appeared in front of Lin Ray's eyes. Hee, you have to give me something appropriate. Otherwise, I'll be at a disadvantage. In order to fight with you, I have to use all my cultivation. Tell me, is it suitable for you? Serves you right. After saying that, he waved his hand, and an array appeared around him, protecting him. Then, his spiritual consciousness moved and instantly entered the dead man's ring. In an instant, Lin Ray entered the dead man's storage ring effortlessly. Of course, if the dead man wasn't dead, it would be difficult for him to break through the enchantment. However, the owner of the ring was dead, and the ring was ownerless. Therefore, it didn't take much effort to enter the ring. When the onlookers saw Linley's actions, they were instantly filled with helplessness. The onlookers had not expected Linley's actions to disappear. It seems like this kid is still hiding his strength. I didn't expect an early true god to be able to kill an expert at the divine weapon realm. It seems like this person isn't simple. At this moment, a man in black armor beside Gu Si said in a deep voice, "Okay, I know. I'll be careful." Hearing the man's words, Gu Si shrank her neck and said weakly, "Damn, this is big news. Who is this guy? He actually has the ability to kill someone who's at a higher level. Yeah, who is this guy? He's so awesome. It seems like the divine world is going to be lively in the future." That's right. The thoughts of the onlookers always made people not know whether to laugh or cry. However, Sakura, who had been watching from the side, similarly covered his face with a helpless expression after seeing Lin Ray's actions. Sakura, who was smiling slightly, quietly looked at the scene in front of him and didn't say anything. Damn, not bad. I didn't expect this idiot to have so many good things. At this moment, Lin Ray was so excited that he couldn't control himself when he sensed that the deceased belongings were all good stuff. Luckily I didn't waste my efforts. I didn't expect that a random person would be able to make me a windfall. Although that was what Linley thought, he did not have the slightest intention of underestimating the powerhouses of the celestial realm. In fact, he still had lingering fears from the battle just now. If not for his powerful equipment and strength, he would have been the one to die here. Looking at so many good things, Lin Ray reluctantly withdrew from the ring. When Lin Ray came back to his senses, he removed the array around him. With a bang, a blood-red flame was thrown at the corpse. In an instant, the corpse turned into ashes and disappeared from this wonderful world. Lin Ray, who had settled the matter, raised his head and looked at the scene. At this moment, the scene was very funny. There were tens of thousands of people watching him. At this moment, he was like an animal in a zoo being admired and commented on by them. Look again. If you look again, you'll have to pay," Lin Ray said to them angrily. Suddenly, there was a flurry of footsteps, and everyone left the place and returned to their original place. Not bad. As an initial true god, you were able to fight against an expert in the middle stage of the divine weapon realm without any difference. You even killed him. Previously, I thought that you wouldn't be able to defeat him. At this moment, Gu Si's words were heard. Instantly, Lin Ray's tightly knitted brows relaxed. He said to Goosey, sigh. That's right. If it wasn't for his carelessness, I might have been the one to die. That's right. If it wasn't for his carelessness, I'm afraid that the one lying on the ground now would be you. When Goosey said this, Lin Ray was a little puzzled. Goosey's words were out of his expectations. Oh, why? Looking at Lin Ray's puzzled look, Goosey smiled slightly. Then, she came to Lin Ray's side and said to Lin Ray in an old-fashioned voice, maybe you don't know. You've just advanced and might not know the cultivation levels of the realm of the gods. As she said this, Goosey slowly explained the cultivation levels of the realm of the gods. After the realm of the gods, there's the divine weapon realm, divine guard realm, divine general realm, divine king realm, divine emperor realm, divine ancestor realm, divine lord realm, divine emperor realm, and then the ruler of the realm of the gods, the reverend realm. However, I don't need to tell you about the realms after that because it's still too early. Hearing Goosey's words, Lin Ray nodded slightly. He already knew what Goosey had said just now, so he wasn't interested in it all. However, after advancing to the realm of the gods will comprehend a technique in the sect called the realm of gods. When Goosey's words were heard again, it instantly aroused Lin Ray's curiosity. The realm of gods was a name that Lin Ray was unfamiliar with. He had never heard anything about it from the little dragon. Immediately, Lin Ray couldn't stay silent any longer. He asked Goosey with a tone full of curiosity, quickly tell me about the realm of gods. Seeing Lin Ray's interest, Goosey hurriedly explained to Lin Ray, the realm of gods is something that only realm of the gods can comprehend. However, this comprehension is controlled by all the sects. Of course, there are a few methods that don't require the sects. Speaking up to this point, Goosey let out a sigh of relief. In the end, she didn't expect Lin Ray to impatiently urge her, don't listen, what other methods are there? At this moment, Lin Ray's appearance was very cute. Looking at Lin Ray's appearance, Goosey didn't keep Lin Ray in suspense. She immediately told him the rest of the methods in one breath. Either you're a super powerful genius who can comprehend it on your own, or you have the help of an expert. If you're neither of these, then you must enter a sect because only a sect can allow you to comprehend it, and there is no danger at all. At this moment, Lin Ray was silent. Hearing Goosey's words, Lin Ray sighed in his heart. At the same time, his heart was filled with longing for the realm of gods. Boom! Just as Lin Ray was fantasizing, his body suddenly sank. His body immediately fell to the ground uncontrollably. His back felt as if it was pressed down by a mountain. He wanted to move, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move an inch. He raised his head and looked at Goosey. His eyes were filled with shock. He didn't know how Goosey did it. Moreover, Goosey's face was relaxed, as if there was no pressure at all. How is it? Do you feel it? This is the suppression of the realm of gods, the realm of gravity. Goosey's voice sounded. In an instant, Lin Ray was stunned. Realm of gravity, realm. Slowly, the two words realm of gravity appeared in Lin Ray's mind. It was as if it was engraved and couldn't be removed. It was like a curse that surrounded Lin Ray's consciousness and the depths of his mind. Yes, it's very strong. Hearing Goosey's question, Lin Ray blurted out without hesitation. Regarding this, he was very glad that the person before didn't use the realm of gods. Otherwise, it might really be him at this moment. Looking at Lin Ray's dazed appearance, Goosey immediately withdrew her realm of gravity. Immediately, Lin Ray's body, which was lying on the ground, became light. His flushed face returned to normal. Get up. This can't be helped. If you want to explain the realm of gods, I don't have the ability, so, just now, I'm sorry. It's fine. You don't have to apologize. On the contrary, I have to thank you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known that a realm of gods could comprehend this kind of thing. Speaking until here, Lin Ray couldn't help but recall the scene of being suppressed by the realm of gravity. For a moment, the shock in his heart couldn't dissipate. But you don't have to worry. The realm of gods isn't something that anyone can comprehend. If you want to comprehend the realm of gods, first of all, you have to have a very good body. Second, you have to have talent and the purity of your divine chi. Therefore, those who can cultivate the realm of gods are very rare in the realm of gods. Other than the disciples of the sects or the geniuses groomed by the sects, ordinary people simply don't have it. Yes, I understand. Hearing Gucci's reminder, Lin Ray nodded knowingly. Then, as if he had thought of something, he flipped his hands and the heavenly pendant appeared in his hands. Senior brother, this little brother is new here and doesn't know much. If it weren't for senior brother's reminder, this little brother wouldn't have known so many things. This is a small token of my appreciation. Please accept it. While Lin Ray was speaking, Gucci was already in a daze. A pair of fiery eyes were looking at the realm of gods in his hands. However, what made Lin Ray admire Gucci was that although Gucci's eyes were filled with passion, there was no greed. Because of this, Lin Ray's impression of Gucci was even better. This isn't good. Looking at the realm of gods in front of him, Gucci's heart was faintly moved. However, he really didn't know how to accept such a precious item. Looking at Gucci's appearance, Lin Ray smiled and said casually, "Senior brother, don't worry. I have plenty of these things. Don't worry and use them." Looking at such a cute senior brother, Lin Ray was in a good mood. Although the night wind was very cool, Lin Ray didn't feel cold at all. Instead, he felt warm in his heart. After that, under Linley's repeated attempts to dissuade her, Gucci finally accepted Linley's gift. "Thank you, junior apprentice brother. However, I still want to say that although this is the deity realm, divine artifacts aren't everywhere. As the saying goes, don't flaunt your wealth. In the future, you must think thrice before you act, and act according to your abilities." Chapter 484. After Gucci finished her warning, she turned around and walked into his room without looking back. Lin Ray, who was listening, smiled after hearing Gucci's warning and didn't say anything. Lin Ray understood Gucci's words clearly, but at this moment, he didn't have the mood to think about it. After knowing about the realm of gods, Lin Ray couldn't help but recall the scene when he was suppressed by Gucci. Realm of gods, just you wait. I will definitely cultivate it. Realm of gods, I'm really looking forward to it. With a mysterious smile, Lin Ray looked around. Then, he waved his hand and set up a formation around him. After wrapping himself up, he fell asleep. Who could it be? He just reached the realm of the gods, and someone already made a move. Could it be that those people know about Lin Ray's identity? Not long after Lin Ray fell asleep, the little dragon quietly came to Lin Ray's side. Looking at the sleeping Lin Ray, the little dragon frowned. Although others thought that it was just an ordinary battle, the little dragon felt that it wasn't so simple. "Sigh, forget it. Let's leave it to fate. Let's take it one step at a time. Anyway, I can only become stronger if there's a battle." Thinking of this, the little dragon looked at Lin Ray with a very treacherous expression. Then, it smiled and disappeared into the system. Just like that, the night quietly slipped away. That night, Linley slept very comfortably, and the surrounding formations didn't seem to have been damaged at all. Early in the morning, Linley slowly opened his eyes. Raising his head, he stared at the towering ancient tree. He was in a very good mood, especially after yesterday's battle. After obtaining that storage ring, Linley wished he could do it again. After regaining his senses, Lin Ray stood up and put away the formation around him. Looking around, he saw that Gucci was still doing the same work as yesterday. She was still checking the spiritual root talent for people who were about to reach the realm of the gods. Seeing this, Lin Ray felt helpless. "Sigh, how much longer will it take?" Lin Ray grumbled as he nodded at Gucci and left, heading in a direction with no one around. Before he left, Gucci kept reminding him to be careful, but Lin Ray just laughed it off. As for Lin Ray, there wasn't a single person in the starting ground who didn't know him. After yesterday's battle, everyone knew of Lin Ray's existence. With a single sentence, Lin Ray glanced at the thick ancient trees one by one. Looking at this wonderland on Earth, Lin Ray couldn't help but sigh. I wonder how Lu Ying is doing. It's time for him to wake up. Finally, after walking quite a distance, Linley came to a halt beneath an ancient tree. He scanned the area with his eyes. Seeing that there was no one else around, he casually set up an emperor-level formation, then instantly released everyone from his system. I said, "Look at this." Suddenly, Lin Ray was speechless. "What's going on?" I thought they would be bored, but I didn't expect them to be chatting happily in the system. However, at this moment, everyone felt the change in the spiritual energy around them. They lifted their heads and saw Lin Ray looking at them with hidden bitterness. "Wow," Shatian exclaimed. When he saw the situation around him and the ancient tree behind Lin Ray, he instantly became excited. "Hey, Lin Ray, is this the realm of the gods? The spiritual energy here is so dense, and the tree behind you is so big." Shaishan's skinny figure walked behind him. When Lin Ray saw this, he frowned and wanted to turn around to say something. However, he saw Shaishan's strange action. Lin Ray suddenly laughed. Not only Lin Ray, but everyone around him also laughed. Ha! Fortunately, there was a formation in the surroundings. Otherwise, his laughter would have attracted Gu Si and the rest who were not far away. At this moment, Shatian was hugging a magical tree and gnawing on it as though he wanted to eat the ancient tree that even 7 to 8 people couldn't hold together. "Hey, are you stupid? You can't eat this." Seeing Shaishan's silly look, Lin Ray quickly stepped forward to stop him. However, Lin Ray gave up when he saw Shaishan's persevering look. Anyway, he didn't lose anything. Turning around, Lin Ray looked at them and said with a heavy expression, "Hold on for a few more days. After I enter the sect, and you guys break through to the divine realm, the realm of the gods will be yours to roam." "Yes, we understand." After hearing Lin Ray's words, everyone revealed excited smiles and said casually, "We will definitely break through to the immortal venerable realm and enter the realm of the gods as soon as possible. We will definitely not disappoint Sect Master's expectations." Seeing how all of them were working so hard, Linley felt very gratified. "All right, you guys can go in and cultivate." After he finished speaking, Lin Ray waved his hand and everyone was thrown into the system. However, the male emperor, Lu Ying, and Shatian were left behind by Lin Ray. The male emperor, who didn't know what was going on, slowly asked, "Brother Lei, is there something you want me to do?" After hearing the male emperor's words, Lu Ying and Shatian, who was gnawing on the ancient tree, all looked at Lin Ray. They also wanted to know. Seeing everyone's reaction, Lin Ray smiled and said casually, Nothing. I just want to talk to you guys." After saying that, Linley sat down on the ground. With a thought, the corpse of a Yao beast weighing at least 500 kilograms was brought out from his storage ring. This was something that Linley had killed in the immortal plane. He then placed it inside his storage ring. The storage ring was a place to store things. Inside the ring, time stopped. Therefore, even if it was 100 years, 1,000 years, or even 10,000 years, as long as the ring was still there, those things would be as fresh as if they were just killed. Meat! A cry of surprise could be heard. A short black shadow instantly slid past his clothes and landed on top of the corpse of the demonic beast. Seeing this, a happy smile appeared on Linley's face. "Hee, Shadian, stop fooling around. This is raw. Come down quickly. I'll roast it for you." Shadian, who didn't want to let go, reluctantly left the corpse of the demonic beast after hearing Lin Ray's words. He came to Lin Ray's side and stared at him as if he was afraid that Lin Ray would swallow the demonic beast. Shatian was helpless against this action. However, there was nothing he could do. After all, he was still a child. Boom! The illusory spirit blood fire was instantly used. Immediately, the temperature of the surroundings rose. Fortunately, they were all immortal venerables and immortal emperors. Other than Shatian, they could withstand the heat. As for Shatian, he was able to withstand the scorching heat. His mind was slowly fading away, but for the sake of roasting the meat, he continued to eat. Lin Ray couldn't help but admire Shaishan's spirit of eating meat. As time passed, Lin Ray added all the seasonings into the meat. After a round of roasting by Lin Ray, a fragrant aroma wafted out. Wah wah wah. I can't take it anymore. I want to eat, I want to eat. Sha Tian screamed as if he had gone mad. Lin Ray had no choice but to increase the heat. After a few breaths, the meat was roasted by Lin Ray and placed on the table. Let's make this clear first. You can't have it all to yourself. In order for them to be able to eat the meat, the moment Linley finished speaking to Sha Tian, he pointed out with his sword. Sword Chi instantly sliced through the middle of the demonic beast, splitting it into 2 portions. Seeing this, Sha Tian couldn't take it anymore. However, he couldn't win against Lin Ray. In the end, he could only give in. I want the big piece. All right. Looking at Shaishan's sullen expression, Lin Ray quickly nodded in agreement. However, he was still laughing in his heart. With a swish, Sha Tian quickly grabbed the barbecued meat and dodged to the side. Seeing this, Linley was filled with helplessness. Come, let's eat. As he spoke, Linley picked out a piece of meat that was relatively softer and brought it to Lu Ying's side. He placed the meat in front of her. Eat. Did you sleep well these past few days? At this moment, the male disciple saw Lin Ray's expression and tactfully left with the meat. He walked to Shaishan's side and squatted down to eat the big bones. And it's okay. Lu Ying's face was flushed red when he saw the male disciple's actions. He knew what he meant and replied to Lin Ray. Hurry up and eat. I can't stay here for too long. Otherwise, the divine sect will see through us. After saying that, Lin Ray tore off a piece of meat and fed it to Lu Ying. Instantly, a wave of happiness rushed into the hearts of the two. Lin Ray knew about Lu Ying's cultivation. Although he was already in the early stage of the true God state, the generals that he summoned were all at the peak of the true God state. Just like that, the meal was quickly finished and Lin Ray kept everyone in the system. Of course, before leaving, Sha Tian begged to stay outside for a while, but was rejected by Lin Ray. In the end, Sha Tian decisively threw him into the system. Seeing this, Lu Ying and the male disciple entered the system with smiles on their faces. When they left, Lin Ray took a few demonic beast corpses and roasted them with the illusory spirit blood fire. Then, Lu Ying and the male disciple brought them into the system for everyone to share. After everything that happened last night, Lin Ray hurriedly packed up and removed the array before returning to the Divine Sect's camp. When Lin Ray returned, Gusi nodded when she saw him. She asked a few questions and didn't ask anything else. A period of time passed just like that. On this day, Gusi recruited a lot of disciples. As the number of disciples increased, the Divine Sect's encampment here wasn't enough. In the end, Lin Ray hurriedly vacated his room and went to an ancient tree. He set up an array and used it as his temporary encampment. Therefore, Gusi wanted Linley to live in her room. However, Linley refused in the end. He didn't want to live under the nose of an immortal general. At this moment, it was the best time for him to stay in the formation. Chapter 485. In the next few days, Lin Ray would go to the place where he had his meal every day. He didn't know about the array, but he would move Sha Tian and the others out of the system for a gathering. Of course, Lu Ying stayed by Lin Ray's side every day. During these few days, Lu Ying had a blissful smile on his face every day. 5 days. This lifestyle went on for 5 whole days. Finally, when Lin Ray woke up this morning, Gusi's voice was transmitted into the array before he woke up. Lin Ray, let's go. I'm bringing you guys to report to the sect today. HM. The moment he heard Gusi's voice, Lin Ray woke up from his dream and replied lazily, Oh, got it. Got it. Go ahead, I'll be right there. Okay. Hurry up then. After speaking, Gusi left. At this moment, in the array, the spring scenery was still dazzling and blinding. When Lin Ray came back to his senses, he lowered his head to look at Lu Ying, who was sleeping soundly on his chest. Lin Ray was a little reluctant to wake her up. Quietly, after looking at his wife for a long time, Lin Rei finally reached out and gently pushed Lu Ying. He said gently, Ing air, wake up. I'm leaving. Lin Li's voice was very soft. In his heart, he didn't want to wake his wife up right now. However, Lu Ying was a peak stage true god after all. Thus, when he heard Lin Li's soft voice, Lu Ying opened his eyes in a daze. HM, you're leaving? Lu Ying didn't know what was going on in his sleep when he saw his husband starting to put on her clothes. This action shocked Lu Ying. He was completely awake from his previous sleepiness. Seeing his husband's gentle appearance, Lu Ying was incomparably happy. Very quickly, perhaps because of Jin Ling, so Lin Rei dressed Lu Ying very quickly. After that, Lin Rei dressed himself in no time. You still have to go back in the next few days. Once I've stabilized, I'll release all of you. By then, we'll be able to live together and never be separated. Lu Ying, who was already prepared to go back, hurriedly nodded his head and closed his eyes when he heard what his husband said. Looking at her, Lin Rei kissed her on the forehead, then communicated with the system to keep Lu Ying in. After everything was done, Lin Rei waved his hand and removed the array. He stepped out and a green dragon appeared beneath his feet. In an instant, he arrived beside Gu Si, who had been waiting for him. You're finally here. When he saw Gu Si standing on the Azure Dragon, he was shocked. However, as a divine general, he had seen everything, so he quickly recovered from his shock and complained to Lin Rei. All right, are we going back to the sect? Seeing the look on Gu Si's face, Lin Li hurriedly changed the topic and asked curiously. That's right. The disciples are almost done. Senior brother Kai Ming asked me to bring you guys back to report to the sect. Gu Si really liked Lin Rei. Especially after experiencing the Skyfall with Lin Rei, Gu Si liked Lin Rei even more. When she heard Lin Rei's question, Gu Si answered without hesitation. Oh! After hearing that they could go to the divine sect, Lin Rei's face was full of smiles. At this moment, he couldn't wait to go to the divine sect immediately. After 1,000 years, he'd be free. All right, junior brothers, follow me. I'll bring you guys back to the sect. As she spoke, Gu Si waved at Lin Li and flew towards the north. When Lin Li saw Gu Si waving at him, he flew to Gu Si's side and followed her. Junior brother Lin, you just came to the God Realm, so you don't know the structure of the God Realm. Since there's still a long time before we return to the sect, Lin Tian, I'll tell you about the structure of the God Realm and its powers. Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Rei perked up and seriously stopped. He really wanted to know about the structure and powers of the God Realm. The God Realm is also known as the 9 Prefectures Divine Land. What? The 9 Prefectures? After hearing the name, Lin Rei couldn't help but reveal a strange expression. If it was the 9 Prefectures, he actually knew of a place called the 9 Prefectures. However, that 9 Prefectures couldn't be compared to the current 9 Prefectures. Yes, the 9 Prefectures are divided into the 4 Prefectures. The Eastern Prefectures are divided into Pai Prefecture and Zhu Prefecture. The Western Prefectures are divided into Tianzhou and Han Prefecture. The Southern Prefectures are divided into Dan Prefecture and Ling Prefecture. The Northern Prefectures are divided into Wu Prefecture and Ding Prefecture. Hearing Gu Si's description of the 9 prefectures, Lin Rei was immediately puzzled. The original 9 prefectures had now become 8 prefectures. Immediately, Lin Rei asked doubtfully, Senior brother, according to your description of the 9 prefectures, this is only 1 prefecture. What about the other one? After hearing Lin Rei's question, Gu Si's expression couldn't help but change, as if this matter was very terrifying. Speaking of this, Gu Si lowered her voice and whispered in Lin Rei's ear, Alas, you'll know it sooner or later anyway. In addition to the 8 prefectures I just told you about, there's another prefecture. However, that place is very terrifying. Normally, only divine cultivators who have reached the divine general realm dare to go there. Moreover, there's no one in charge of that place. It's a place that no one dares to ask about. It's so mysterious. Hearing Gu Si's description of the 9th prefecture, It seemed that there was some kind of man-eating monster that made him so terrified. Moreover, it seemed that he had been there before. "Senior brother, have you been there before?" Hearing this, Goosey frowned and her face turned extremely pale. It was terrifying. Lin Ray really didn't expect that a simple question would cause such a big reaction from Goosey. Therefore, Lin Ray became very interested in the mysterious Ninth Prefecture. Moreover, at this moment, Lin Ray secretly swore in his heart that he would definitely enter the Ninth Prefecture to take a look if he had the chance in the future. At this moment, Goosey seemed to have guessed something after seeing Lin Ray's eyes shining. She then advised, "Junior brother, I advise you to give up on that thought. I know it's very dangerous inside, and there are many places. I'm not afraid to say that. Although it's the Ninth Prefecture, according to the fabrications of a previous ultimate god, the area of the Ninth Prefecture is not at all comparable to the 8 prefectures. It might even be larger than the 8 prefectures." Hiss! At this moment, the thousands of cultivators behind Goosey who had been selected to join the sect immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. They secretly swore in their hearts that they would never go to the Ninth Prefecture in the future. However, Lin Ray was different. The more he listened to Goosey, the more excited Lin Ray became. The more Lin Ray listened to Goosey, the stronger his desire to enter the Ninth Prefecture. All right, let's not talk about this topic. Let's talk about our divine sect and the other major forces. This way, we can immediately recognize the disciples of other sects when we go out in the future. At this moment, seeing everyone's frightened expressions, Goosey's heart sank. She quickly organized her words and changed the topic. "I believe that person from the Enigma Palace has already said that although the divine realm is divided into 9 prefectures, only 8 prefectures are controlled by the people of the divine realm. Our divine sect is the ruler of one of the prefectures." At this point, Goosey's face couldn't help but reveal a calm expression as if that prefecture was under her control. Then, Goosey continued, "The forces of the divine realm are divided into 2 sects, 3 factions, 2 palaces, and 1 empire. The 2 sects are the divine sect, which is our sect. Our sect has been established for more than 1,000,000 years, and countless experts have appeared in our sect. During this period of time, some old ancestors have broken through the divine ancestor realm and advanced to the realm below, the hierarch realm." At this moment, the people flying at the back couldn't help but fly towards Lin Ray's direction in order to hear Goosey's introduction of the divine realm. "Our divine sect is located in the Eastern Pi Prefecture's myriad mountains. There are countless disciples in our sect. When you reach the sect, there will be a specialized disciple to introduce you." At this moment, Goosey's expression softened a lot. She no longer looked as bloodless as before. "The other sect is the Tranquil sect." As soon as she said that, Lin Ray instantly frowned and released an invisible murderous aura that swept across the surroundings. Everyone who sensed Lin Ray's murderous aura immediately became alert. They knew about his past. How could they not be afraid when such a dangerous person suddenly released his murderous aura? "What's wrong?" At this moment, Goosey was very confused. He didn't understand why Lin Ray would suddenly release such a terrifying, murderous aura. Although he didn't know what was going on, Goosey could roughly guess it. "Tranquil sect, haha. I didn't expect to have one in the divine realm. Looks like I'll have to make a trip there in the future." This. As soon as these words came out, everyone's eyes widened, as though they had seen a ghost. Their eyes were filled with shock as they stared at Linley. Clearly, they were all stunned by Linley's words. Of course, this included Goosey. Although she had guessed it, she couldn't help but be shocked when she heard it. As the saying goes, the walls have ears. Although everyone here is a disciple who is about to go to the sect, it's inevitable that there will be some who forget righteousness in the face of profit and are immoral people. Thus, before everyone could react, Goosey transmitted her voice to Linley. "All right, let's end this matter here. Although I don't know what grudges you have with the Tranquil sect, don't make it so obvious in the future. The people here aren't all friends. There are some who are enemies as well. Someone has already exposed your secret. Let me ask you, with your current achievements, how can you fight against such a powerful existence? Gusi's words made sense. This wasn't the divine realm. As long as he waved his hand, there would be experts who would fight him. This was the divine realm that he wasn't familiar with. Furthermore, the Chinquin sect had existed here for God knows how many years. They were deeply rooted in this place. After hearing Gusi's advice, Lin Rei regained his senses. The hatred for the Chinquin sect for killing his wife and son was buried deep in his heart. Not long after Gusi's words, the murderous aura disappeared. At this moment, the thousands of people behind him felt their bodies lighten. The temperature around them, which had dropped to the lowest point, rose again. Chapter 486. Phew. After returning to normal, Linley let out a breath of turbid air, and then fell silent. He just continued to fly quietly by Gusi's side. All right, everything is fine now. Seeing that Linley had calmed down, Gusi hurriedly drew everyone's attention away from him. Of the two sects, apart from our celestial sect, the other is the Chinquin sect. Gusi couldn't help but glance at Lin Rei. After realizing that he wasn't as out of control as before, she continued. The Chinquin sect has a long history. No one knows when it was established, at least I don't. However, the Chinquin sect has branches in every world, such as the celestial world. After a long while, Gusi continued. The Chinquin sect is stationed in Wuzhou in the south. Therefore, under normal circumstances, you won't encounter them unless there's a promised gathering. Then, Gusi listed the top sects one by one. For example, the upper three gates. The Heavenly Gate was stationed in Juzhou, the Earth Gate was stationed in Tianzhou, and the Human Gate was stationed in Han Province. Among the two palaces, the Enigma Palace was stationed in Lingzhou, the Heavenly Spring Palace was stationed in Danzhou, and the only empire, the Yuandao Empire, was stationed in Dingzhou. These sects are the top sects in the celestial world. However, the forces in the celestial world are much more complicated than what I've described. When we return to the sect, there will be a strange record of the celestial world. You will know then. After saying that, Gusi fell silent, but her flying speed did indeed increase. Before anyone could react, Gusi had already become a small black in their eyes. Huh! Lin Rei, who had been flying at a normal speed, chuckled and suddenly increased his speed. Roar! Instantly, in the blink of an eye, 3 azure dragons appeared beneath Linley's feet, and then their speed increased, and they quickly left the rest of the group in the dust. What's going on? This situation made everyone unable to understand, but this matter had happened too suddenly, so they didn't have time to think carefully. In an instant, everyone increased their speed and quickly chased after Gusi and Lin Rei. Time passed bit by bit. In the blink of an eye, 1 month had passed. However, during this time, everyone knew that there was a test to join a sect. This test tested one's ability. In this month, Gusi had thought of all sorts of methods. Other than a few people who couldn't keep up and were eliminated, everyone else had successfully joined the divine sect. It was a torturous month for everyone. Apart from flying during the day, they had to be on guard at night. Some people didn't even dare to sleep in the middle of the night, afraid that they would be eliminated. For a month, everyone ate and slept in the open. Finally, after a month, they arrived at the location of the divine sect in the Eastern Pai province. All right, your bitter days are over. At this moment, Gusi, who was flying in front, stopped and turned around. She said to everyone with a smile on her face. Her appearance was very warm, but in the eyes of everyone, it was very cold. They had truly realized how terrifying Gusi was in this month. Realizing that no one was speaking, and that they were all on guard, Gusi felt very awkward. Open. Seeing everyone's disbelieving eyes, Gusi didn't explain to anyone, but used facts to prove that her words were correct. In an instant, Gusi took out a white jade tablet and flew forward. Bang! Suddenly, a loud sound rang out. The jade tablet that flew out stopped not far away, and a trace of suspicious energy rushed out. A As soon as he arrived, Linley's eyes narrowed slightly. Instantly, the tension in his forehead relaxed. He knew exactly what was going on. Haha, barrier. That's right. This was the divine Sect's barrier. Only those who had a disciple's token could open it. If anyone dared to barge in, they would trigger the barrier. As for the consequences, there was no need to think about it. In the end, they would definitely die. Haha, that's right. This is my divine Sect's barrier formation, the great heavenly cycle formation, a saint-level formation. Damn, saint-level. Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Ray's eyebrows twitched. Saint-level was an existence that was several levels higher than him. In the immortal world, it was at most a master-level existence. However, he actually saw a saint level at this moment. How is it? Are you very surprised? Looking at Lin Ray's expression, Gu Si smiled and said, Actually, you don't have to be like this. Although it's a saint-level formation, it was created by the first Sect master when the divine Sect was founded. Until now, there hasn't been a saint-level formation master in the divine world. Linley hadn't thought of this, but it was normal. In this realm, the practice of formations was different from that of cultivation. As long as one reached a certain level and absorbed enough spiritual energy, one would gain vitality. For formation masters, they needed time to settle down, experience, and luck. Only then would they be able to break through to a certain level. Okay, got it. After understanding, Lin Ray went silent. However, his gaze was still fixed on the jade tablet in front of him. He wanted to see how powerful this formation was. Rumble, rumble. Suddenly, there was a loud sound. At the jade tablet, a door suddenly appeared and opened. Damn, it's true. We're really here. At this moment, a cultivator behind Gu Si shouted excitedly after seeing this scene. TSK, isn't it obvious? Are you stupid? Everyone saw what the man said. However, now that he was chased out by the man, everyone looked at him as if he was an idiot. Okay. Looking at the pairs of eyes around him, the man lowered his head and went silent. Kacha! 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 The sound of the door opening was heard. Instantly, everyone's gaze was attracted. Seeing the door open bit by bit, everyone felt as if their hearts were being squeezed by someone. Their breathing quickened. Whoosh! The current leader, Gu Si, immediately moved the instant she saw the door open. She charged to the edge of the door at an extremely fast speed, then turned around and roared at Linley and the others with her cultivation base at full force. Congratulations, junior brothers, for successfully joining the divine Sect. Silence, a deathly silence. At this moment, no one spoke. However, everyone had smiles on their faces and their eyes were moist. Not long after, angry roars came out from the mouths of thousands of people. Some were venting, some were excited, some were emotional. All kinds of emotions were vented out at this moment. Time passed bit by bit. Gu Si didn't stop them as she watched them vent. However, of all the people who were venting, Linley was the only one who slowly walked over to Gu Si's side. Okay, stop yelling. Hurry up and enter. Otherwise, when the divine Sect closes, you will be eliminated. Suddenly, an extremely discordant voice sounded. The voice was filled with disdain. The moment the voice sounded, the people who were yelling immediately stopped what they were doing. Their gazes shifted to the person who spoke. They saw a man in red clothes standing behind Gu Si with a cold expression. He looked like an elder. Greetings, Deacon. Hearing this voice, Gu Si quickly turned around. When she saw the man's voice, she quickly bowed to the man. Her tone was filled with respect. Yes, Gu Si, if this happens again in the future, there is no need for me to say anything. Go to the law enforcement hall and receive your punishment. Do you hear me? Yes, disciple understands. Hearing the man in red's words, Gu Si's forehead was covered in cold sweat. She quickly agreed. Okay. Seeing that Gu Si had agreed, the man in red silently disappeared from everyone's sight. How could this be? Why did he disappear without any spiritual energy around him? At this moment, Lin Ray, who was next to the man in red, was shocked and puzzled when he saw the man in red disappear. He also knew how to teleport, but it was impossible for him to do what the man in red did. All right, Don't let your imagination run wild. Let's hurry up. I reckon that the sect leader knows about what happened here. Let's hurry up and report. At this moment, Gu Si, who was next to Lin Ray, saw that he was deep in thought and quickly interrupted him. She then turned to the crowd and said, "All right, let's go. Welcome to the entrance test. As long as you perform outstandingly in the test, the sect leader, elder, deacon, and protector will have the opportunity to be accepted as disciples." With that, Gu Si did not have the chance to talk to the crowd. She then led Lin Ray into the door. At this moment, the thousands of disciples in the distance saw this scene and quickly reacted. They instantly rushed into the door. "Senior." At this moment, Lin Ray, who had just entered the door, called out to Gu Si with hesitation. "Yes, what's the matter?" Gu Si, who was excitedly walking forward, suddenly heard Lin Ray's call. She stopped in her tracks, turned around, and asked in confusion, I. Looking at Lin Ray's troubled expression, Gu Si laughed and casually said, "If there's anything, just say it. As long as I can do it, I won't refuse. I don't want to participate in the sect's entrance test." Boom, Kacha. Lin Ray's words were like a sudden clap of thunder that struck Gu Si's body. She was completely dumbfounded and stood rooted to the ground. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. At this moment, Lin Ray's words were like a curse that lingered in Gu Si's mind. She could not get rid of them. "I don't want to participate in the entrance test." Looking at Gu Si's expression, Lin Ray said calmly. He knew that this matter was unbelievable to Gu Si, but this was his choice. Why? At this moment, Gu Si regained her senses and looked at Lin Ray in disbelief. She did not expect Lin Ray to have such a thought. Furthermore, she could not understand it. Logically speaking, joining a powerful sect was the dream of every cultivator. Being chosen as a disciple by an expert was the most desirable thing for a cultivator who had ascended to the realm of the gods. However, at this moment, Lin Ray was doing the exact opposite. His tone was neither sad nor happy, making it difficult for second brother Huang to understand. "All right, I'm here to hand this person over to you." As he spoke, Gu Si pushed Lin Ray in front of him. "Oh." Hearing Gu Si's words, second brother Huang raised his eyebrows. Obviously, he didn't expect this. "From now on, this brother of mine will be in your storeroom. Remember to treat him well. If you neglect him, be careful that I don't remove your position and kick you out of the divine sect." Although he knew that Lin Ray's strength was strong, as the saying goes, a strong dragon can't suppress a snake in its old haunts. Special care was still necessary. However, what Gu Si didn't know was that his words had caused unnecessary trouble for Lin Ray. He also didn't expect that his words would be misinterpreted by second brother Huang. Yes. We will naturally take care of the person you brought. Don't worry." As he spoke, second brother Huang came to Lin Ray's side in one step and put one hand on Lin Ray's shoulder, as if they were very familiar with each other. "All right, since it's like this." As he spoke, Gu Si looked at Lin Ray. His heart was still filled with compassion as he said, "You can stay here for now. If you've made up your mind, come find me at any time." With his schwa sound, Gu Si didn't wait for Lin Ray to speak and released his cultivation. With the fastest speed, he disappeared in front of Lin Ray and second brother Huang. Watching Gu Si leave, Lin Li slowly let out a sigh of relief, and his body relaxed. Hee brat, you're not bad." At this moment, second brother Huang's voice rang out from beside him. Instantly, Lin Li felt a chill in his heart. After sensing the hand on his shoulder, Lin Li subconsciously moved to the side, and without anyone noticing, he pulled away from second brother Huang's arm. "In the future, please Huang, Lin Ray, who wanted to say something, didn't know what to say. "I'm a manager here. In the future, just call me Manager Huang." Second brother Huang, who understood Lin Ray's meaning, quickly said, "Since we're free right now, I'll tell you the rules of the storage room." Hearing this, Lin Ray listened seriously. Soon after, second brother Huang stopped Lin Ray and said in a slightly disgusted voice, "Although us storage disciples are also disciples of the divine sect, we are indeed at the lowest level. The hard work of everyone in the sect is actually done by us. Our normal tasks are to gather herbs and other trivial matters. Normally, we don't have anything to do." Speaking to this point, Lin Ray, who had been paying attention to second Brother Huang, inadvertently discovered a trace of coldness in his eyes. Although it was only a flash, Lin Ray still noticed it. "Hey Chen, what's going on? I don't think I've offended him." Lin Ray, who didn't know what was going on, was very confused. Today was the first time he had met second Brother Huang, so there shouldn't be any hatred between them. Since he couldn't figure it out, Lin Ray didn't think about it anymore. Also, us miscellaneous disciples can go to the elixir room to receive a qi gathering pill every month to provide for our cultivation. Although we are at the lowest level, we still need to cultivate. After all, when we gather herbs, we will encounter some demon beasts and some precipitous cliffs. Therefore, the sect will distribute pills and cultivation methods. As for how you cultivate, no one cares. As he spoke, second Brother Huang brought Lin Ray to the valley outside the farmhouse. The road was full of potholes and was very difficult to walk on. Lin Ray didn't have any suspicions and followed second Brother Huang all the way until they reached a straw hut built against the mountain wall. Only then did Lin Ray realize that something was wrong. "Okay, I'll have a disciple bring you the other rules of the sect later. From now on, you can live here." Second Brother Huang was ready to leave, but just as he turned around, second Brother Huang seemed to have thought of something and turned around again. He said with a sinister smile, "Your task is to pick 10 gene of heavenly spirit fruit every day. If you can't do it, you won't have any food to eat. You won't even have a month's worth of qi gathering pills." What? Listening to second Brother Huang's words, Lin Ray suddenly became angry. Although he didn't compromise on these things, he couldn't be bullied like this. Although he didn't know why this old man bullied him, Lin Ray knew that he was definitely doing it on purpose. What? If I tell you to do it, then do it. If you don't do it, then I'll go to the law enforcement hall and let the law enforcement hall senior brother come and reason with you." As soon as these words came out, Lin Ray's anger was suppressed. Although he wasn't afraid of anyone, at this moment, he was living under someone else's wing. He had no choice but to do this. Moreover, his strength was still at the lowest level. After thinking about it, Lin Ray could only silently accept it. Oomph. With a cold snort, Lin Ray turned around and walked towards a straw hut that could be blown away by a gust of wind at any time. Although he was extremely unwilling, for the sake of the mission and his own life, he could only endure it. "Hee, you want to fight with me? Don't you know who I am?" Second Brother Huang said viciously to the straw hut as he watched Lin Ray enter. Then he turned around and left. As he left, his eyes were filled with disgust towards this place. It was as if he didn't want to stay here for even a moment longer. At this moment, Lin Ray, who had entered the straw hut, saw that there was no bed, no table, and nothing in the room. For a moment, his anger burned and the urge to kill instantly surged into his heart. "Ha ha!" Suddenly a loud laugh sounded. Immediately, Lin Ray looked towards the source of the sound with furious eyes. He saw that the little dragon was sitting cross-legged in the air and looking at him with a smile. Ew. After spitting out a word, he didn't say anything else. Other than anger, there was only anger. Ever since he started cultivating, other than being hunted down, he had never been belittled like this. All right, don't be angry. It can't be helped. Who told you to agree to the system's mission? Even if it's a trap, you've already jumped into it." The little dragon's words sounded again. The little dragon successfully added fuel to the fire. The moment the little dragon finished speaking, its eyes were bloodshot and it looked extremely terrifying. Just wait. It's only 1,000 years. This sovereign doesn't care." As he spoke, Lin Ray's body instantly moved and rushed out of the straw hut. He arrived at a mountain wall. After pondering for a while, the primal chaos dragon spear rushed out of his body and pierced the mountain wall in front of him. Boom! Boom, boom. The sound continued to ring out, and the formerly smooth stone wall began to take the shape of a cave. With the passage of time, the sound continued to ring out, and an enormous cave appeared in front of Linley's eyes. Ah, you think you can trick this sovereign like this? As he spoke in disdain, Lin Ray walked into the cave. At this moment, there were a few inner caves in the cave, and the space inside was extremely huge. Looking at the cave, Lin Ray didn't even think and directly released Lu Ying, the male brother, Sha Tian, himself, and Lin Ray from the system. This place is? At this moment, everyone who was already out of the system looked at the cave in front of them in confusion. All right, no need to guess. This is Divine Sect, and this is where you'll be cultivating in the future. As he spoke, Linley pointed at the cave behind them. Instantly, everyone looked in the direction of Linley's finger, only to see several pitch-black caves appear in front of their eyes. The moment they saw the caves, everyone's eyes were calm. They didn't feel disdain because of the environment here. Chapter 488. All right, all of you go. Don't come out for the next few years. After all, this isn't our Xuanzong sect. Furthermore, we're not strong enough to threaten anyone. As he spoke, Lin Ray waved his hand, and a few rays of light shot out of the cave and circled around the mountain peak that Lin Ray was on. They spun faster and faster until all that was left was a ray of light. Heaven and Earth Mystic Technique, Black Tortoise, Heaven and Earth Lock. Elated, Lin Ray's hands quickly formed seals as he chanted the incantation. Bang! With a loud bang, the several rays of light that were revolving around the mountain instantly stopped in the air according to the four directions. At this moment, a huge array appeared and sealed the entire mountain in the middle of the array. As soon as the formation appeared, the auras of Linley and the others vanished without a trace. The cave on the stone wall vanished as well, returning to its previous undamaged state. It was as if nothing had happened at all. Phew! At this moment, Lin Ray, who was in the cave, was deathly pale. After seeing the array complete, he slowly exhaled. Lei Jiyu, Lu Ying, who had been standing next to Linley, hurriedly helped Linley to a place where he could sit down after seeing his husband's state. His heart ached as he let Linley sit down. I'm fine. I just didn't know the array and used up too much of my mental energy. Seeing how worried his wife was, Lin Ray quickly suppressed his exhaustion and forced himself to be alert as he comforted Lu Ying. As he spoke, Lin Ray held Lu Ying's hand and didn't let go for even a second. All right, this place is sealed by the array. Unless it's someone who's at the level of a supreme god. Even a supreme god can forget about exploring this place. Plop. Just as Lin Ray finished speaking, everyone instantly knelt down and thanked him with eyes full of gratitude. For a moment, Lin Ray felt embarrassed. Thank you, sect leader, for your consideration. We'll definitely cultivate harder in the future and definitely won't disgrace the sect's name or your reputation. With that, Lin Ray's heart warmed. He suppressed his exhaustion and hurriedly stood up. He walked over to everyone and bent down to help them stand up. Hurry up and get up. This is what I should do as the sect leader and as brothers. Although you're all disciples of the Xuanzong sect, you're also my brothers. Furthermore, the Xuanzong sect was preserved by you guys. Your contributions cannot go unnoticed. Speaking of this, Linley couldn't help but feel ashamed. Back then, in the immortal plane, many of his disciples had died in that battle. Linley was truly saddened by this. He hadn't been able to fulfill the promise he had made to them. Sect leader, hearing Lin Ray's words, everyone's eyes became moist. They didn't stop Lin Ray from helping them up. Hee, that's enough. Don't say anything else. Don't worry and focus on your cultivation. You guys will be the cornerstone of this Lord's rise in the divine world in the future. Increasing your cultivation will be the greatest reward for this Lord. As he spoke, the thoughts hidden in his heart resurfaced once more. Linley had already decided that once he was strong enough, he would definitely make a trip to the 9th prefecture. Yes, We'll do our best for the sect until we die. We won't hesitate. Looking at the brothers who had followed him all the way here, Lin Ray couldn't help but smile happily. Good. I'll wait for the day when you're strong enough. As he spoke, Linley willed it, and in an instant, over 100 white jade bottles appeared in front of everyone. A refreshing, fragrant smell instantly filled the entire cave. The moment they smelled the fragrance, everyone's eyes were filled with fanaticism. They knew about the pills that Lin Ray refined. All right, you guys can take these. They're all pills that can increase your cultivation. As soon as Lin Ray finished speaking, everyone stepped forward and took their share. Looking at everyone's expressions, Lin Ray smiled. He smiled very happily and said, "These pills should be able to help you guys cultivate for a while. After a while, I'll use the spiritual herbs from the realm of the gods to help you guys refine them. I believe that when the time comes, the pills that have been infused with the chi of the gods will be much better than those from the supreme god realm." Yes. Hearing Lin Ray's words, everyone was happy. Some of them were even imagining the scene of breaking through after eating the pills refined in the realm of the gods. All right, go cultivate. I've just joined the sect, so there should be a lot of things to do. Later on, if any of you run out of pills, come out and get them. Yes. Hearing Lin Ray's words, everyone bowed to Lin Ray and left the cave hall. Each of them returned to their own rooms. As for those who didn't have rooms, they opened up their own space for cultivation. As he watched them leave, Linley instantly cast a spell seal at the entrance of the cave. Immediately, the cave disappeared from where it used to be. After doing all this, Linley was finally unable to withstand the exhaustion of his body, and he instantly fell backwards. Brother Lei. At this moment, Lu Ying, who was staring at Linley, saw that her husband was falling backwards. Lu Ying reacted quickly and caught Linley in a flash as he asked with concern, Husband, are you all right?" However, at this moment, Lin Ray was already unconscious. No matter how Lu Ying called out, there was no response. Lu Ying hurriedly used his spiritual energy to transfer it into Lin Ray's body. However, just as the spiritual energy entered Lin Ray's body, it was pushed back by a huge force. Lu Ying was shocked when he sensed this. How can this be? Why is there such a strong force in husband's body? Lu Ying muttered to himself. At this moment, he couldn't care less. After trying a few more times, Lu Ying finally chose to give up. She didn't know if her actions would harm Lin Ray. Seeing her husband in a deep sleep, Lu Ying's heart ached. She hugged Lin Ray and sat on the ground. She stroked Lin Ray's tightly knitted brows and started to help him relax. How good would it be if it could stay like this forever? Looking at her husband lying in her arms, Lu Ying couldn't help but start praying. Although she knew this was very selfish, she had no choice. She would rather be selfish than let her husband be in danger. However, what Lu Ying didn't know was that Lin Ray had entered the system. Although he was exhausted, he wasn't unconscious. As for the strong force from before, it was the system's mechanism to protect Lin Ray. Phew! Staring at the familiar darkness, Linley's brows began to relax. Only in this place could he feel at ease, safe, and free of all dangers. "You're here." The little dragon's voice was heard. Lin Ray wasn't surprised at all. After all, this was the little dragon's home. I'm here to cultivate for a while. Also, I wanted to ask you how to break through the Emperor level of formation and pill refinery. In the realm of the gods, my current level isn't enough. I need to have some life-saving skills. Lin Ray was already a formation master and pill refinery emperor. Ever since he came to the realm of the gods, Lin Ray deeply felt his shortcomings. He didn't like this feeling. He didn't like putting his life in danger. And, most importantly, it was the same. If he didn't quickly improve these two levels, how could he let his brother improve his cultivation quickly? And what would his brother's situation be like? He knew very well that this place wasn't a safe haven. It was a tiger's den. He could lose his life at any time. TSK, not bad, not bad. The little dragon, who had been listening to Lin Ray speak, was shocked when he heard Lin Ray's words. At the same time, he said not bad 3 times in a row. "Kid, did you notice? You've changed. You've become more responsible. You've become more capable. You've made me proud of you." Listening to the little dragon's words, he was suddenly happy. He felt that this matter had a chance. "However, as you know, you still owe me 5 million exchange points. Do you think I'm still giving you things? I'm not afraid to tell you that the things you want are in the shop, but I'm afraid you can't afford the price." Lin Ray, who just felt that there was a chance, suddenly felt helpless when he heard the little dragon's words. As for the thing that the little dragon was talking about, Lin Ray naturally knew about Lin Ray's. Tianzong pill could raise the sub-profession by 2 levels, but the price wasn't cheap. The cheapest Tianzong pill required 800,000 exchange points and reputation points. Because of this, Lin Ray came to ask the little dragon. He didn't expect this result. Stingy. Isn't it just a pill? Wait, after this young master refines it, I'll eat it like candy. After knowing the little dragon's attitude, Lin Ray didn't beg him anymore. Knowing that it was impossible to do it, he didn't want to do it. After finishing his words, Lin Ray left the place. With a thought, his body disappeared into the dark space and arrived at the center of the training field. Immediately, he activated the 3rd level of the Chaos Scripture and began to cultivate. Kid, you're still too inexperienced to fight with me. The Tianzong pill gave me so many exchange points. How can I give it to you for free? At this moment, the little dragon looked at Lin Ray, who had entered the training field, and revealed a treacherous smile. If he saw the little dragon's expression at this moment, Lin Ray would definitely think that there was a pit in front of him. And it wasn't an ordinary pit, but a heavenly pit. South, in the best floor of a skyscraper in a bustling city in Danzhou, there were currently over 100 people there. Everyone's expression was very solemn, and some of them even exuded a baleful aura. Their killing intent was so strong that it was frightening. However, Lin Ray's clone, Sakura, was among the crowd. Although he was wearing a mask, it wasn't very conspicuous because most of the people here are wearing masks. All right, everyone, this represents the stronghold of the Assassins organization in Tianyu City. It is also the place where you can train and receive missions in the future. At this moment, a person wearing a bronze mask was looking at the front. He didn't have any cultivation and was very ordinary, but the murderous aura on his body was so strong that it frightened everyone. Even Sakura, who was Lin Ray's doppelganger, had never seen such a terrifying murderous aura. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.